Hello there, and welcome back.
What is this place?
Disconnected.
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 I'm starting to feel disconnected.
You have reached a number that has been disconnected.
Hey there, and welcome to another live Thursday night Reconnected, and this time with another first-time guest. I've been getting a lot of those lately. The one and only Mr. Michael Viers from the Shameless Picture Show. Thank you for coming.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
It's an honor. Love your show. Love you. Love that we've been able to get this done. I genuinely feel like I've been counting down to this day for quite some time. So grateful that you're here.
Yeah, especially because I had to reschedule the last one because I took my wife to see Rosemary's Baby in the theater. So
I get it.
Yeah,
It's all right. I've heard it's an okay movie.
Yeah, you know, it's pretty good with a crowd.
I would love to see it with a crowd. I got to say, I've only ever seen it at home, and I don't love it. I'm wondering if I would like it better in a theater, first of all.
It's a movie that's grown on me. It's a movie that my mother really was hot on when I was young, and showed it to me at a relatively young age. That and Psycho, and I just thought, yeah, that was a movie. But it's a movie that's really grown on me over the years, and then seeing it in theaters with almost a packed crowd just kind of re-solidified that movie a little bit for me.
Yeah, that makes sense. I need to do it. I will do it hopefully at some point if there's an option available. One shout out in the chat, Ronnie, confirm if this is correct. I believe it's Ronnie's birthday. Happy birthday if it is. I think it is. Happy birthday, Ronnie.
Happy birthday, Ronnie.
Let's break down first, what is the Shameless Picture Show?
Oh, right. So the Shameless Picture Show is a film analysis podcast that I started with my former co-host, Nick Richards. We met each other at the Beloit Film Festival. Funny enough, we're both from Wisconsin, but he was living in Maryland at the time. And we loved talking movies with each other, and with there being a long distance, it was not always easy to do. So we started that podcast, and it was started with the conceit of every cinephile, whether they want to admit it or not, has a list of shame, a list of movies that they have not seen for one reason or another. And it was a place for us, in a very non-judgmental way, to get together, admit, hey, I haven't seen this, and let's talk about it. Because sometimes, you know, there's really big films that if you're anything like me, you put off. It's like, okay, yeah, I could see The Godfather, or I could see all the films that that ripped off The Godfather, because I'm sure The Godfather, it's not going anywhere.
That's true.
And that's you know, that. So it's kind of nice to have an excuse, like, okay, I'm gonna sit down and I have to not force myself, but I'm choosing now to watch this instead of something else that's on the pile, or, you know, what have you.
Yeah. It's a conceit that I think is important. It's one that everybody has, even though many people seem to not want to admit it. Everybody, I don't know, is subjected to certain levels of ridicule, of actual shame, and then like very personal shame. So much so that in not every industry this is a problem, but genuinely around film, there's so many people that will literally lie about having seen something just because they don't want to be looked down on for that type of sentiment. But I don't get it.
No, I'm sure, like back when I was in film school, when you didn't want to be that person, I'm sure, like, Apocalypse Now was the film that I remember, like, people being like, oh, have you seen Apocalypse Now? I'm like, yeah, don't ask me any questions.
Right. I can't explain anything from it, but it's a good movie. Yeah, that sort of thing is so odd, and you know, it is a sense of shame for many people. But Jesus, so many of the films, I mean, you know, we might talk about them tonight when they're on either of our lists, because that's what we're going to share after the conversation, is more of a conversation about the Shameless Picture Show and films on our shame list. They might be films that we're going to delight in the fact that the other person still gets the opportunity to see it for the first time. That's got to be a sense of enjoyment for you when you get to show these films to people.
Oh, absolutely. It's especially nice when it's a film that neither of us have seen, but I try to stick to the rule that one of us should not have seen it. I've broken that rule I've also slightly broken that rule where it's happened where I'm supposed to do an episode and then it falls through, and then it happens later on. I was like, well, technically, I've seen this movie now, but
Right.
I'm still gonna count it. Like I have that
Yeah.
happening soon with Clueless, for example. I'd never seen Clueless,
Masterpiece.
but I have, and I was supposed to do an episode on it, and the guest fell through, and which is fine. It happens sometimes. But then I have Millie DeCherico wanting to come on and discuss it, and I was like, well, even though I've seen Clueless now, I'm still doing this episode because I
It was brand new for the show too.
exactly.
Interesting. Yeah. I bet that's got to be fun just to discover things through that. So we'll get into some more like broad thoughts on the show and some of your experiences with seeing some of these for the first time. But let's talk about things other than that. What else have you done in your history that's related to the film industry that I might be leading you to answer so that we can talk about things that start with a T and rhyme with that movie Roma?
Well, I think I mentioned that I went to film school. I'm one of those film school people, and I loved my time there. I went to the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, and they have a very experimental film program. Like, you're not gonna go to UWM and necessarily learn how to be a gaffer. No, you're gonna instead study the films of Stan Brakhage, and you're gonna watch things like Wavelength, and analyze it and discuss it. So like they're really good about putting a camera in your hand, like a Bolex camera, and just having you go out and shoot stuff and experiment. But like many people, I had a love for Hollywood cinema to extent, and then also just exploitation and horror. So I made a little film called From the Darkness Theater, and it actually did very well. It played at Phil Anselmo. I can't pronounce his name. The guy from I know the name of his horror film festival, the House Core Horror Film Festival. I cannot think of the band that he's in.
It is Pantera.
Pantera, yes. Obviously, you can tell, don't listen to the band very much. It played at his film festival. It played before Suspiria, and it actually played at the Cannes Film Festival. And while there, I traveled there by myself, and I met a lot of weird people, and I met Lloyd Kaufman of all people
At Cannes.
He was shooting his Occupy Cannes documentary at the time, which I think he's finally getting around to finishing. And I met also Liam Regan of
Refuse.
Refuse. I always want to say Recluse, and that's the wrong name. Refuse Films. Met him there when he was still trying to get Banjo made. I think he made the short film of it. He was playing Toxie at the time. And I just hit it off with a lot of those guys, and I hung out with them through a lot of it because I couldn't do much. You know, I was nobody. I could walk around the area where they're selling films, but I couldn't do anything. You couldn't even. So each country, when you're at the Cannes Film Festival, each country has its own little oasis. It's like a couple tents set up where you can go and relax, have a drink, network. The United States had one of these little oasis set up, but you could only get in if you're on their list. So I couldn't get in. So I hung out in Canada all the time. They were nice. They let me in.
I'm not shocked about either of those two things, by the way.
Exactly.
The very exclusive US and welcoming Canada. Very surprised. Cannes, Troma. That is cool. So what else have you done with Troma since then?
So after that, I became an editor for Troma. I was one of their first out-of-state editors. It was a very terrible system, and how it came to be is actually kind of funny. Essentially, what they would do is anytime Lloyd would go anywhere, film festival, or he had a cameo on a movie, he'd bring his little camera with him.
Which is often, by the way. Lloyd doesn't say no to anything.
Yeah, he'll just go there and shoot a bunch of stuff, and then pretty much say, cool, now that I have this footage, give it to one of our editors and make it educational.
Yeah.
Even if he has no intention when he goes and shoots any of this stuff, but then you have to weed through it and find a story in it. And that was my job. And I would mail them a hard drive. They would load it with footage and they'd mail it back to me. It was a very weird system.
What year was this?
This was 2013 through like maybe 2015, 2016. I stopped doing this right around the time that I met my wife. And originally they weren't even going to bring me on to do it. I emailed them asking if they're looking for an editor, and they told me, no, you're not in New York. We can't really do much with you, which is fine. I understood that. Lloyd came to Chicago for Return to Nukem High Volume 1 and wanted to get lunch with me. Man loves nachos. That's what every time I've ever had food with him, he gets nachos. And it was a fun conversation. We spent a lot of time talking about like Fellini films and things like that. And then at the end of it, I'm getting ready to leave, and he goes, Michael, why aren't you editing for me? And I was like, because your team told me no.
Yeah.
And he goes, who? I was like, I don't know the person's name. He goes, you email me on Monday. And then that was their editor.
Edit that person off the team.
Yes.
Amazing.
And I would say, he would personally watch everything I made. I cut, and he'd send me notes. Sometimes they're written on a napkin, and they would just take a picture of them. And it would just be like, he'd write time codes, and then in quotations, a joke. And I was like, okay, he wants me to add this joke in there, is what I usually assumed. But I got to do some cool videos. I did their, when they were at the Museum of Modern Art, they made a big video for it. He wanted me to edit that, and actually it's on the classic Nukem High, the subhumanoid meltdown Blu-ray. It's on there, so I have some of the stuff I edited on Blu-rays. I don't know how much of it's still around though, because their YouTube got nuked years ago.
Yeah.
But I did videos where he interviewed Richard Stanley, Bruce LaBruce, a bunch of cool people, and it was a fun little gig for a while.
That is awesome. What's funny is now their YouTube is back, and I feel like better than ever at the moment. They're doing like actual interesting choices for YouTube, which for Trauma is not something I would have expected.
Yes, yeah, Lloyd's never gonna he's never gonna stop. He's never gonna roll over. Even when their YouTube got nuked, he found a way. Even with their streaming service, he's still the first one to be like, hey, steal this movie. I don't care.
Yeah.
He just wants people to see his stuff.
Yeah, 100%. And he's supportive of pretty much everybody. Like I said, he literally says yes to almost everything, which you can't say about everyone. There's a lot of people that will say no to everything.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, so I did that for a while. I did some freelance editing gigs, all the while trying to make films. And filmmaking is hard. It's especially when you don't have money. And I didn't have money to pump into it myself. And you get to a certain point, you get sick of asking for favors. And I moved to a small town in Wisconsin, and I was really depressed because I was just far enough that the drive to the city to do things was annoying, and I found myself just saying no to things, which is stupid. But it happened, and then people stop calling you when you don't say yes to things, which is understandable. I did it to myself, but I found myself kind of going through a rut, trying to figure out what do I want to do.
Yeah.
I love film, but I couldn't picture a path without filmmaking. So that's why I started the podcast. I thought it was like, can I rediscover my love for film?
And look where you are now.
Yeah, I'm doing the Disconnected podcast with you.
That's not moving up, but thank you. There's other things. I mean, you're working on other projects right now that I'm so eager for people to hear about someday too.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I know which one you're talking about. It rhymes with cook. Um,
Yes, that's the one.
but I didn't know if we were talking about that yet.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what else, reflecting back on a period of life that has led to so many connections for you, what that means, and what you can be able to really supply to other people that will be interesting enough for them to literally purchase. I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, I am too, and I'm excited to have you as a partner on this mystery project.
Everybody's now going to be like, "What the hell?" Okay. Well, first, before we get into the next regular portions, you live in what is currently a like polar tundra. Wanted to say, everybody stay safe. It's going to be a wild few days. My wife literally was meant to make dinner during my last stream so I could eat between the streams, and she got stuck at the grocery store for an hour and a half because everything is so packed right now. I had to scarf down 2 McDonald's cheeseburgers in a span of like 90 seconds.
I
And
didn't
I
even see you
did
eat them. I've been staring at you this entire time.
Well, it was right before we went live, literally during the theme song.
Oh,
It has been intense. Yes, I am still a little hungry. Thanks, McDonald's. So yeah, stay safe out there. It's going to be wild. We got to talk about this movie. So let's talk about this. What we've been watching recently. What have you seen the last couple weeks?
all right. So, well, funny enough, you mentioned about Polar Vortex. I had tickets to go see Marty Supreme tomorrow, and it just got canceled on me.
Oh no.
Yeah, my wife literally just texted me when we were here. She's like, "No movie tomorrow." I'm like, "Damn it!"
That sucks.
All right. So, last couple weeks, how far back do you want me to go?
However much you want to talk about. But first, let's talk about the Testament of Anne Lee, because I think I said that title like 18 times during the last stream, and not because they were nominated for anything, but because I loved it so much. Tell me about the Testament of Anne Lee and what you thought.
Oh, I love the Testament of Anne Lee. So my good buddy Austin Proctor of the Frightmares podcast, he came and stayed with me over the weekend. And Testament of Anne Lee was one of the movies we saw. It took him to the most beautiful theater in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's called the Oriental Theater. And they were showing the Testament of Anne Lee on 70 millimeter. And I try to go to any 70 millimeter screening I can, because I'm fortunate enough to have a theater that can project it. And I was floored by the Testament of Anne Lee. I didn't 100% know what I was getting into going into it. I've not seen any of Mona Fastfold's directorial work, but I had seen The Brutalist, which I was a huge fan of, which she co-wrote with Brady Corbet, who co-wrote this film with her. Oh, you have the picture pulled up. Look at that.
This is called hosting.
Yeah. So that's me.
I did that quickly.
My wonderful wife Amanda, and the tall person in between us, that's Austin Proctor of the Frightmares podcast.
And
Look at the
this
theater. That's up in the balcony, which they only open during specific screenings. But I pulled some strings so we can get up there.
Amazing. That's incredible.
It's an incredible theater to see a movie in, and
Especially in 70 millimeter.
oh yes, and this movie just looked gorgeous, and because I didn't quite know what to expect. The trailer that I saw kind of gave me folk horror vibes.
Yeah.
Kind of reminded me of The Witch, which I didn't love when I first saw it. But I love folk horror, so like I was like, all right, I'm still excited. I'm ready to go in, and yeah, I was just blown away by it.
I love that you shout out The Witch. I've been telling people the Testament of Anne Lee because like nobody has seen it yet because it just came out wide. I've been telling people it's as if Robert Eggers directed a cult, a religious cult musical in a way.
Yes, but my wife and I were arguing of whether or not it actually counts as a musical.
Technically, no, because it's not progressing the plot in any way.
No, all these songs are relatively diegetic, and they're songs that they would be singing in their day-to-day life anyways, because the Shakers were kind of a musical group, and it made even more evident by the fact that they're singing and it's driving everyone nuts. So, but I understand why they classified it as a musical, because I feel like if they didn't, it almost feels misleading not to mention it.
Yeah, in a way.
I guess it'd be misleading because I feel like I know people who have a strong aversion to musicals, and I feel like if they went to this not knowing that there's going to be so much singing, it might feel like pulling the rug out. I personally don't think that, but I feel like it was a promotional discussion.
I mean, they're kind of doing it like they did it for Wonka. They did it for what was the other one they hid last year? There was another one. Shit. There was another musical last year that they hid. I don't remember. Anyways, it'll probably it's somebody in the chat will say it, I'm sure, in just a moment. But yeah, it's seemingly becoming a thing that we're hiding things from musicals all at the same time while we're releasing. We're going to talk about tonight a Broadway musical that hit theaters this year that did okay that I saw in theaters. Love stuff like that. So yeah, glad you got to see this and glad you liked it.
Yeah, I really did, and I'm still trying to decide if I can put this on if this goes on my 2025 list or my 2026 list.
Well, it is a 2025 film,
but it didn't have a wide release in 2025. That's where my
it is true
problem comes in. It's important. It's not important, but it's something I'm tossing and turning over it because I'm a nerd.
I always classify it as which Oscars are they eligible for.
That's fair. That's fair. Then I guess I got to take it off of my 2026 list.
You should. I think you should. So Testament of Anne Lee. What else have you been watching?
All right. So I'll kind of focus in on the time when actually no, I'll go back a little bit. So one thing that I've been doing since last year is I realized that Steven Soderbergh has made a fuck ton of movies. And I've only up until I started this challenge, I had only seen like 5 of them. I was going through his Wikipedia. It's like, man, this man has never stopped working. Even when he said he was going to retire, he was still shooting second unit for like Hunger Games and things. So I thought, well, I'm just gonna go through his filmography in chronological order. And that has been I'm still within his first 5 films, and even those are all over the place.
Yep.
Like you go from Sex, Lies, and Videotape to Kafka. And then from there, there's King of the Hill, which I think is a gem of a movie, even though he doesn't agree. Yeah. The Underneath with Peter Gallagher, and then next is Schizopolis, which what a weird run of films. So I've been working through the films of Steven Soderbergh, and as I said, I watched King of the Hill and The Underneath this year. I also watched The Hudsucker Proxy for the first time recently for an upcoming episode.
Nice. Everybody needs to tune into that so you can find out what he thought.
Yes. And then over the weekend, I watched the Herschel Gordon Lewis film, The Gruesome Twosome.
How'd you feel about that one?
I liked it. It's not my favorite Herschel Gordon Lewis film, but I did quite like it. We chose it because it was like 72 minutes long.
Yeah.
And it was the night that Austin got in, and he I don't think we got home until like 10 o'clock. But it was like we weren't tired enough to go to bed. So it's like, okay, let's throw in a short movie. And The Gruesome Twosome won that. I saw the new Park Chan-wook film, No Other Choice.
Great movie.
It is a great movie. And the way that they handle tone in that film, because it's a balancing act. Oh, yes. The dog that's walking around, her name is Frankenstein. She is 13 years old. So because of that, she paces because she's old and has sore joints, and it's too hard for her to get up and down. So she'd rather just walk around. Yeah, there she is. She's just walking her perimeter.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
She's on guard.
Yeah, we are much safer with her. So you're going to see her walking around. But No Other Choice. No Other Choice was a great time. They handled that tone expertly. The comedy never took away from the drama of the film, but it got wild.
I love No Other Choice. Funny enough, I saw that and Testament of Ann Lee in a span of 2.5 days at the St.
Same.
Louis International Film Festival in November,
Well,
and loved them both.
yeah, that's essentially what happened. Well, it wasn't at the St. Louis Film Festival, but it was the span of a day.
Yeah.
And they weirdly complement each other well. I
They
can't
do.
quite explain why, but it just felt right.
Yeah, agreed.
And then I'll be touching on this again a little bit later when we talk about things we picked up. But then I also watched the AGFA release of Amanda and the Alien.
Fun movie. Fun movie.
It is. Yeah, we were walking around a local video store called Good Shit Video, and my wife, who doesn't see her name mentioned very often, saw Amanda and the Alien, and she's like, I don't know what this is, but I have to buy it.
Got to do it.
Yeah. So we watched it that night, and then I rewatched The Gruesome Twosome with the commentary track. I had to. My 2026 goal is if I watch something that I own on physical media, I used to do this, and I don't do it as much anymore. I need to complete the disc.
Yeah.
What I'm telling myself. Maybe not with every single commentary, because sometimes a disc will have like 4 or 5. But I'm trying to be better about, because that's the stuff that makes me love movies, and I don't know why I don't watch them as much. So
I get that.
I watched all the special features on The Gruesome Twosome and rewatched it with commentary.
Nice, very nice. How was the commentary specifically?
Commentary is good. It's got Mike Vraney from Something Weird Video kind of moderating it, and he's just great about pulling questions out of Lewis, who has when they recorded this which was back when the DVD came out, I believe. He just had a really good memory about how a lot of things worked, and I learned from this commentary that he had a very good working relationship with KFC. There's a lot of KFC product placement in Gruesome Twosome and a couple of his movies, and essentially what happened was he said, if you feed my crew for a couple days, I'll put KFC logos throughout the movie. And he agreed, and then eventually Colonel Sanders was in one of his movies.
Yeah. Herschel Gordon Lewis had a hell of an interesting life. That's one of the biggest things that people need to take away from his stuff. And one thing I'll shout out, I don't know if people have seen this or not. The Sean Baker interview of Herschel Gordon Lewis on the Criterion Channel is one of the greatest things to ever be on the Criterion Channel. And I do say that earnestly. Like, it is genuinely beyond intriguing the entire time.
Absolutely. Yeah. I feel like I watched that way back before I even knew who Sean Baker was.
Yeah. He looks very young in the interview, that's for sure.
Yes. And then any of the interviews that John Waters did with Herschel Gordon Lewis is also pretty great. And funny enough, I reached out to Herschel Gordon Lewis back before he passed away. He was just a filmmaker I really admired, and I reached out, and I found he had a marketing business at the time.
Yep. Which, by the way, he started, obviously, and everything that he did. He was super into marketing.
I reached out to his marketing company and just said, I'm sorry if this is inappropriate, but I'm just a big fan of your movies. Is there any way I could get like an autographed photo? He emailed me back a very eloquent email that essentially said, if you send $30 in a self-addressed signed envelope, I will send it one.
That's so Herschel.
I had so little money, I could barely afford groceries at that time. So I was like, okay, I'll circle back to this. And he died a couple months later.
Dang, that's rough timing.
Yes, but I got to email him, and that was still pretty cool.
And you got a response.
Yeah,
so.
I got a response. It's all about perspective, Ryan. It's like I never got to have John Waters on my podcast, but he personally said no to me, so that still feels like a win.
I don't know if I should say this. A couple of things over this last year has been really weird to me, where somebody, especially for physical media, has asked me if I can find out if somebody would be interested in doing something for a disc. And a lot of time I'll say, yeah, I'll try. And it's somebody that I have no dream of ever being able to speak to in any way. one of the most surprising ones over this last year is somebody saying, "Hey, we'd love to get John Waters to talk about these films. Can we see if we can reach out to him and if you can get him?" I was like, I don't think there's any way I'll be able to get to him, but I'll try. Within an hour, he was personally telling me no over email. I was like, how did I just get to John Waters in like 34 minutes? It was crazy.
Especially because he's not an easy person to contact. Like,
No.
he has this whole system where if you have fan mail, you have to send it to a comic book store down the block from his house.
Yep.
But no, he personally declined the podcast and then tipped my former co-host $50.
Personally declined. I mean, that's a pretty great claim to fame. My big one like that over this last year was I got Jim Wynorski to get upset with me personally and raise his voice at me over the phone, which was fun.
What did you do to piss off Jim Wynorski?
We wouldn't pay for his Uber in 2 different directions.
He has blocked me on Facebook at least twice, and I have never even encountered with him, so I don't even know why.
That means he had to unblock you.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, geez. Anything else that you watched recently that you want to shout out?
I watched Together. That was a fun time.
Fun movie, yeah.
Yeah, I was not expecting as much humor in that film.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining, though. I think I even said this on my Letterboxd review. So Dave Franco was in both Together and the film Neighbors, and they both share a very similar scene.
I did not connect that, but that is true. That is absolutely true.
I don't want to spoil either movie for someone if you've not seen Neighbors and or Together.
That's fun.
I'll do a double feature.
Yeah, that's a good movie. It's a good Franco day. Yeah, good movie. Check out Together. One that quickly I feel like people are forgetting just came out this last year because 2025 was a good year for movies.
It was. It is particularly strong, and not even just the big, highly acclaimed movies that are getting like the Oscars and everything, but there was just a lot of fun stuff that came out.
Yeah,
even like some of the movies that I didn't love, it's like I still had a good time with.
That's true. That is true. I had a lot that I've classified as like I was definitely entertained and was glad that I saw them, but they were not good movies.
Like what? Like what's one of the ones that you had fun with, but wasn't that great?
Let me pull up my list. Oh God, what I always forget the actual title of it. The like rom-com of the sister's husband died and the car gosh, 1 second. I watched too many movies. I got to go down the list. This is great TV. I'm so sorry. Regretting You. Entertained the entire film. Not a good movie. Not a good movie at all.
That's fair. That is one I hadn't actually. I don't think I even heard of that one.
It's one of the 18 McKenna Grace films that came out this year.
Okay, fair enough.
It's not good, but it is a fun watch for sure. Another one. Let's see.
That's kind of how I felt about Honey Don't. Like, I don't think this is a good movie, but I had a lot of fun watching it.
I am a Honey Don't defender. I think it is a very good movie, and a lot of people are not approaching it as if it's a send-up of like 40s gumshoe detective fun stories, which is very obvious because, oh my God, is Margaret Qualley's accent in that literally just pulled right out of a
absolutely.
1943 noir.
Like, no, you're absolutely right. I just had such a great time with it, but I left that movie and I was like, I think I need to see this again because I really don't know how I'm feeling about it other than I had a great time with it.
Super innovative opening credits in Honey Don't as well. Weird thing to remark on, but I love the opening credits in Honey Don't.
Credits don't get enough credit. But no, like, and then there was just some little things that I feel like went really under the radar. Like Splitsville. Splitsville was something I hadn't even heard of, and it was probably the hardest I laughed all year.
There's one scene in that made me laugh maybe the hardest all year. The roller coaster scene is probably the funniest scene to come out of all of 2025. I did not enjoy the movie all that much.
Oh, see, I just their entire little fight sequence when they when they agree that knives are probably not a smart idea just nearly took me off my couch.
Yeah. That's true. The fight scene was pretty funny. It was a long fight scene too, so maybe it's better than I'm giving it credit for. All right. I'll go into a couple of my recent watches because
Please
I
do.
had a shockingly large week compared to what I expected. And what's funny is this first film is 3.5 hours long that I'm going to mention. I showed my kids the Peter Jackson King Kong. I have always been a big defender of that movie. I adore that movie. Yeah, love that movie. They had a blast with it. It was a good time. It is about as good as I remember, and I overrate it more than most people. I love that movie. It's epic. I think it's well made. But my God, is the CGI really bad in it?
Well, yeah, it's of its time, but I think I saw that movie in the theater twice because I was really hot on it. It might be my favorite King Kong movie. I don't know. I have to really think about that.
I love Kong Skull Island, but it's definitely top 2 or 3 for me.
However, when I saw King Kong for the reason I had to see it the second time, other than the fact that I loved it, was because the person I went to go see it with truly was not interested in seeing it and just played Grand Theft Auto 3 on his PSP the entire time. We sat in the back of the theater, and I was like, "Why did you even come?"
Yeah. That's rough. I agree with the people saying that King Kong is too long. The big thing is getting to the island. You that should not take like 50 minutes. I agree that it like humanizes and gives you a reason to care about the people. But my God, we don't need 45 minutes of lead up to get to the boat and then some rough boat scenes and then suddenly we're on the island. Now an hour into the film.
That's fair. I don't feel like it bothered me at the time, but I've also probably not rewatched it in over a decade.
Yeah, it had been a while for me. I love it, and even then, like the getting to the island, I like that part. It's just for the film, it wasn't needed. All right, what else? Let me pull back my list again. Oh, I finally watched House of Dynamite from last year. Did you see that one? The Catherine Bigelow.
No. How was it?
It's very well. She's an incredible director. It's a very well made movie. I was happy with the structure of the film, which seems to be a lot of people's complaints. I understand that it takes away the weight a little bit of what is happening in the movie. But honestly, it was just compelling. I don't know. I feel like Catherine Bigelow just has my number a little bit in her movies, and it's like directed straight for me. I loved the first and third act of House of Dynamite more than the second act. And what's hilarious is all 3 acts are the same portion of the film, just done 3 times. But it's good. I was greatly appreciative to see the cast that she had in it. Truly loved seeing some of these people give her just really great performances. Especially like Tracy Letts seeing in a pretty important role was nice to see. Jared Harris, always remarkable. Hilarious to see him in this and in Chernobyl. And I don't want to spoil anything, but if you've seen either of those movies, the fact that he has the same outcome is crazy. And I guess Chernobyl's not a movie; it's a limited series. Couple other things. That's true. Reverence. We talked about this on the show a couple weeks ago because it got a physical media release, and it looked like it was. What is the polite way to say this to make people not feel alienated? Oh, I know. Red Hat trailer trash MAGA porn. That's exactly what it was. I did not like anything about this movie. I thought that they could have gone a lot of different ways, but it basically just lifted up the wrong characters and made somebody out to be a hero when they were just kind of a piece of shit the entire movie. And that sort of thing really grinds my gears. It made no sense whatsoever. Nothing about the movie was logical. Do not watch Reverence from 2025. It's a bad movie.
Good. Had no intention to.
Smart man. One that you should watch, though, Clemency from 2019. This is a movie that is directed by, her name is hard to say. It is Chinonya Chukwu. She is an incredible director for this movie, and it is about an individual who is a warden at a prison, and the movie starts with an execution gone wrong and sort of traumatizes a bunch of people that were associated with that. And the act of being a warden after having that happen and how it affects your future decisions and humanizing prisoners. Very good movie. it is a little bit plotting, and I feel like the fact that we have the failed execution at the beginning, it sort of loses its emotional weight after that. But it's still a journey worth going on, and really will hammer home how you should not go to prison and probably not work in a prison. But it's a fun movie, and fun not meant in a literal sense. Like it's well made, and you would have a good time watching it.
And it's got Alfred Woodard. That's great.
He is quite good in it. I also watched Your Sister Sister, the Mumblecore movie from 2011 with Mark Duplass, and good movie. It is just shockingly well written, directed by Lynn Shelton, who is a master. Very, very well done. Yeah, Emily Blunt, kind of weird accent work in the movie, but they sort of make it make sense by the end of it. Check it out. Good movie. I'm appreciative that I got to see it.
Some good stuff. Like said, a couple of these I've never even heard of. So
that was one of my goals this week. Is some very underseen movies.
What was the name of that last one?
Your Sister's Sister.
Because I was quite fond of a lot of those mumblecore movies when they were first coming out. It's just they all just kind of worked for me.
There is maybe the funniest moment in any mumblecore movie I've seen in this movie, and it's Mark Duplass trying to show people a condom. I'll just leave it at that. It is wildly funny. Wildly
all right, I'm sold. I've added both of these to my list because now I need to see them.
Speaking of being sold, what have you been getting in lately for physical media?
All right, I have to do these in stacks, so bear with me.
By the way, I love all the people that have already tonight said how much you resemble Stanley Kubrick.
I haven't caught those comments, but I did I led a panel a couple years ago for a horror film festival, and the photographer took a picture of me in just the right angle, and I was like, oh man, I look like Stanley Kubrick.
Nice.
All right, so these are in a weird order, so I'm just going off of them. So recently, I got What Scared Jessica to Death.
Brilliant movie.
And I saw this movie years ago. I want to say it was on like Tubi at one point or something like that.
Yep.
And it just really stuck with me. So when I found out that Vinegar Syndrome put this little gem out, I knew I had to pick it up, and I wanted this nice slip cover. I love the pink. I think it's such a vibe. So big fan of that. Also recently got, and this one I got in as a review copy from Kino Lorber, I got Diva.
Ooh, I needed to see this one.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of the movie Betty Blue, which was directed by the same person. I'm sure I'm going to mispronounce his name. Jean-Jacques Benet is how I've been going with it. This is the film he did before Betty Blue, and it sounds like it is a French crime film, which is perfect because I love French crime films. So Kino Lorber just put this out in 4K, and it's absolutely stacked with special features. Everything. It's got scene-specific commentaries with the director itself. It has a Arthur Simon Abrams does a commentary on here as well. It's got an introduction by Phil Powry, and it also just is stacked with interviews with pretty much everyone involved in this film.
Nice.
So I'm excited to dig into that. Picked up Dogma.
Good little indie film, yeah.
Yeah, I've been holding on to my DVD copy for ages because no one knew what was going to happen with this film. So I was at a local video store called Good Shit Video. Mick, if you're listening, anyone in the Milwaukee, Wisconsin area should go to Good Shit Video. He has a lot of the boutique labels that we all know and love. He had this sitting on the shelf, so I was like, well, last time I tried getting it from Walmart, I couldn't because it was sold out. So this is my sign. Then I need to buy Dogma.
Nice.
You guys?
Go ahead.
No, please.
I was going to say I'm kind of jealous because I'm really dying to see it on 4K, but I don't have one yet because I ordered one from the Secret Stash to get it autographed by Jay and Silent Bob, and their run of it is not going to be in until like 2.5 weeks from now, and so I'll be able to see it someday. Yeah,
I'm really excited to rewatch it because It's been a long time since I've watched. I feel like I had this paranoid feeling that something was going to happen to my DVD of it, so I never wanted to like watch it. I know that's like really a crazy thought, but now I have this new 4K, so I can watch as much as I want.
Nice. That's awesome.
It's cool that you said you ordered your copy from the secret stash.
Yeah, they were sharing it on socials, and they didn't have too many, and I think they did it twice, and they both sold out like within a couple hours.
The people that the people that work there are super nice. So
Yep.
I'm a big fan of the movie Vulgar, Brian Johnson's movie,
Yeah.
and I emailed the store one time just saying, once again, kind of like I did Herschel Gordon Lewis, is like, is there any way I can get Brian to sign this?
Yeah.
And they emailed me back within 15 minutes, and they're like, "Yeah, just send us the just send us the slip cover or like the card inside of it to this address." And he sent it back signed with a nice little note.
Look at that. That's awesome.
Yeah, he didn't even charge me $30 like Herschel did.
Way better than Herschel Gordon Lewis.
All right. So my next question was going to be: do you have a half price books where you're at?
We have, I think, 2 around here. Yeah.
All right, I'm only asking because some of the stuff that I got next is it's from half price books. I shockingly found Operation Condor, the '88 films release at half price books, Region B, but I've got an all region player, so it's not a big deal. I was just surprised to see this sitting around on their shelves.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And then one of my hyper fixations when it comes to physical media is Burt Reynolds. He is my favorite actor. Ryan, you've heard all about my love for Burt Reynolds.
And most of you should have by now, because hopefully you've bought the Physical Media Advocate with Burt Reynolds on the cover, where Mike had a really wonderful piece on the inside. So thank you for that, Michael.
You're very welcome. So it's always my goal to eventually get every movie that he's ever been in. I've got a lot of the big ones, so now I'm kind of going through some of the less popular ones. But I found some of them half price books. I didn't even know he was in these. Universal Soldier 2 and 3. Found this on DVD.
All right.
Mystery Alaska.
That is a very common poster trope.
Yes. A couple things. I just want to read what's all on the cover because it gets progressively funnier. So it starts off with a review of it from Ted Goldenberg from Fox TV. He calls it the Rocky of hockey, which I just love saying. The next review is from Jason Miller of ABC TV. It's only TV people reviewing this. It says full of action, suspense, and heart. And then right above the title, from the director of Austin Powers.
From the director of Austin Powers is wild. Gary says, make sure you have the Twilight Zone collection because Bert is in an episode of that.
I know. I'm tracking. So there was a period of time where you could get just select episodes of Twilight Zone on DVDs. I want to get all of the Twilight Zone, but I'd like to find if they ever released his episode on a disc so I can put that in his section.
That makes sense.
And then last thing I got for Burt Reynolds was the Johnson County War. It's a Hallmark Channel Western, early Hallmark, like 2002. So I don't think they're even a channel yet.
Right.
It was written by the guy who did the Lonesome Dove series. So
interesting.
I've got more. I can keep going if you want me to, but this was the first stack that I grabbed.
Let's do a little sandwich action then. I'll do mine because I don't have a ton like you, and then you can do a few more. Mine are kind of all over the place, but wanted to share a bunch coming in from Australia. These first 2 are not Australia. I got the second run DVD Blu-ray release of Manthan. This is an Indian film that they just put out in the UK a few months ago. Been eager for this, had this pre-ordered with a couple other things, and it's finally here. Stoked on it. We are... Can I show everything on here? Yes. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. This is absolutely an adult release. This is the Ultra Flesh Archives release of Wild Heart. This is the Leslie Winston collection. Everybody, if you're interested in loops or the adult fare, check this out. Support what they're doing over the Ultra Flesh archives. Absolutely worth it. They have more in the works. And speaking of we'll say the adult fare of that, you should check out the Imprint Films release of Intimate Confessions of a Chinese Courtesan and Lust for Love of a Chinese Courtesan. Very eager to see these. Have not seen either one. Some decent extras on the back. They've got Paul Foneroff on here talking about the first film. There is Intimate Confessions of Three Shaw Girls, a featurette. Yeah, these look really good, actually. Very excited about those. Look at that. Dakota shouting out Ultra Flesh is so good. Love the commentary with Leslie Winston. And then a couple more from Imprint to go with the Shaw brothers. Their 4K release of Jackie Brown is in.
Ooh.
Nice looking release here. Nothing on this, as far as I'm aware, that is not or nothing on this that is brand new, but it does compile a lot of the stuff for Jackie Brown that I love. So stoked on that. And then loved their first set, and here is Shaw Shock Volume 2, another Shaw Brothers release from Imprint. These boxes are giant, but I mean, this has the Enchanting Shadow, the Bride from Hell, and the Ghost Lovers on here. One of these has not gotten a Blu-ray release otherwise, and so check these out if you're into it. The Shaw Brothers stuff has been excellent lately.
Question: do those fit on a shelf?
They do. Yeah, they I mean, they're thick. That's the big thing, but they're the same width.
Okay.
So
I have the Imprint Never-Ending Story that they did, and that doesn't even fit on my shelf.
You know, I showed Jackie Brown. I could show Kill Bill.
Yeah,
this thing is massive. But the big thing to show the size. So you talked about Refuse Films. Here's their release of Frankenhooker that Liam put out. You can see same height as the box set Shaw Shock, but look at the width difference. Their box sets are massive.
Chunky box.
Very, very chunky.
I love big boxes.
Can you lie about that?
No,
okay, that's good. I didn't want to have to call the guy. All right, what else you got?
All right, so I feel like I shouldn't talk about everything because I got a lot, but I'm gonna try to cherry pick this a little bit. This one was a complete blind buy. I bought Bang the Drum Slowly, the Cinematograph release. I love their curation. I just love the stuff they're putting out. I haven't bought many of their releases just because they're dropping a lot of them pretty quickly. And I don't know what about this movie appealed to me. I don't like baseball, but I love baseball movies.
This is true. I love that said when just an hour ago I was streaming live with a shirt that said "Baseball is Cinema."
Maybe you can help me understand baseball.
I love the director of baseball that I was on the show with. But yes.
Fair enough. All right. So yeah, I got Bang the Drum Slowly. This one I got a little bit ago, but my good friend Matt Harding, who is the regional warrior for Severn Films,
who I've been emailing because I'm working a con for him.
Yeah. So Matt's a good dude. I met him couple years ago because of a video store that I don't know if they're still selling movies, but they're called Blast Radius here in Milwaukee. They put me in contact with him. He came up to Milwaukee to do a little event with a place called the X-Ray Arcade. They're cool. They're like a little punk venue. They have a lot of punk shows, and then they also do movies. I stopped in just to see him, and he hooked me up with this House of Psychotic Women box set. He made me an offer I couldn't refuse on it, and I just had to have this thing. And I haven't even opened it yet because but I'm going to be digging into this very soon. I'm hoping. All right. I got this, and I know this is a movie that you're a fan of. I got this into review. I got Roof Man.
It's incredible. Yeah, I got that 4K in as well.
Yeah, my mom actually saw this, and my mom's not one to go see movies that she's never heard of, but my best friend, his mom, drags my mom to movies, and they went together to go see Roof Man. So when I got this in, I was pretty stoked for it. Here's one that I'm kind of excited about. I've had my eye on this for a while, and I just never pulled the trigger on buying it. So when I found it, like in person, I knew I had to leave the store with it. I got the American Horror Project Volume 1
Nice.
from Arrow. I absolutely love The Witch Who Came from the Sea. I haven't seen the other two films on here. But more than anything, I just love listening to Stephen Thrower talk about movies.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I'll buy things that he's on just because he's involved. But I know like he pretty much like curated this set, so I knew I wanted to have it.
Who's asking? Stan is asking if Roofman is streaming. Roofman is a Paramount film, so if it was, it'd be on Paramount Plus probably.
Yes, I think it's actually on Prime.
Okay.
Oh no, I was wrong. You were right. Paramount Plus. For some reason, I thought it was Prime.
They both start with P. That's why.
Yeah, when it pops up on my Apple TV, and I just see the little logo in the corner.
Yep.
Oh,
Mike says it's also free on Prime, so maybe we were both.
Oh, there we go. And then I'm going to talk about two more things. Next, I picked up the 4K of Flow, the Criterion, because I just got this from the library not too long ago because I wanted to see it. Completely enamored with it. I don't know if you saw it. Have you seen it?
I did. Yeah.
I think it's just a cute little film, and I liked it quite a bit. And I also love that it has another film from the same director called Away on this as well. So, and then the last thing I will highlight, because I've never seen it and I'm really excited for it, I got Thunderheart.
Ah, very nice.
Yeah, this one I've never seen, but I'm a sucker for Val Kilmer. And actually listening to you and Brian talk about Val Kilmer quite a bit last week.
Yeah.
I was pretty excited when I got this into review, because it's one of the films that in his filmography that I've missed.
Well, that and multiple names that have sadly left this mortal coil over the last year.
It's Graham Greene for sure.
Perfect time to check it out.
Yep, and then it's directed by Michael Apted, who directed my favorite music biopic of all time, The Coal Miner's Daughter.
Nice. I don't know if it's within arm reach. Oh, it is. It's down here. I just got in The Coal Miner's Daughter 4K.
Oh, there's a 4K for that.
It just came out.
Who put that out?
The studio did.
All right, I'm gonna have to get that because Coal Miner's Daughter is a movie that I have a very interesting relationship with because I don't even know why it appealed to me so heavily when it did. I remember seeing it for the first time. I was going through just going through the channels, and I think it was playing on like HBO or Showtime or something when I was a kid, and it was rated R. So I just assumed when I was a kid, I assumed any rated R movie was going to have nudity. And at a young age, that's all you're kind of looking for. I put the movie on, and I just got so wrapped up in the story. I remember it. Why am I struggling to think of his name? Tommy Lee Jones. Wow. Tommy Lee Jones, like he like swears to Loretta Lynn's dad. It's like, I will never lay my hands on her. And then literally the night of their wedding, he beats her. And I just remember being like 9 years old, being like, that piece of shit.
Can I blow your mind a little bit?
Yeah.
It's rated PG.
What? For some reason, oh, wow. Well, I thought it was rated R as a kid. That's the only reason I could have thought that I put it on.
Coal Miner's Daughter is a masterpiece. The music in it is beyond nostalgic for me. It was something that I heard an infinite number of times growing up. Great performances, great movie. Check out Coal Miner's Daughter.
And I also love that Loretta Lynn kind of strong-armed Sissy Spacek into being in it.
Yeah.
Have you heard that story?
Jim, that's exactly why I got it. It was $11 on sale at Amazon.
Deal.
Yeah, for a brand new 4K.
Good deal.
Yeah, I don't remember the story, but I think I heard it. Is it shareable? Do you remember it?
Yeah, so essentially what had happened was the studio was helping develop the film, and Loretta Lynn was involved with it. I believe she's got a producing credit of some sort on that film.
I think so.
And she had seen Sissy Spacek and I think Carrie.
That would make sense.
And just thought, was like, well, this is the girl that's going to play me. And reached out to Sissy Spacek and was like, I want you to do this. And Sissy Spacek said, I can't sing, and I don't want to sing. So Loretta Lynn went on like Johnny Carson and was like, "We are making a movie about my life, and Sissy Spacek is gonna play me." And Sissy Spacek was watching live when it happened, and was like, and just kind of, well, I guess I have to play her.
Yep, that's pretty great. That takes some balls.
Yeah, Loretta Lynn was that kind of person. She was cool.
All right, so that is it for pickups and recent watches. After announcements tonight, like I said, we're going to be talking about our own shame list, 5 titles that we have not seen yet that we absolutely should, that we do not feel shame over, and we're excited to see for the first time and definitely need to get done. But first, let's talk about some announcements. Criterion was the first announcements this week, and first-time guest Michael gets to talk about Criterion with me. That's great. April 7th, we got a 4K coming of Gilda from 1946. This is going to have an audio commentary by Richard Schickel. Basically, it's all the stuff that's on the old disc. Not much to say here. It's just an upgrade to the 4K. Any thought on Rita Hayworth or Gilda?
I like Rita Hayworth. I've not seen a lot of her films. I have that old Mill. It's not even that old, but Mill Creek put out like a Rita Hayworth collection that I've been slowly working my way through. But yeah, no, this is one that I have not had the opportunity to see yet.
Neither have I. In fact, I think I've only seen maybe 1, maybe 2 Rita Hayworth. Yeah. Good stuff. Another one that I sadly have not seen, but now this will be the most absolutely perfect time to see this. We got a 4K and Blu-ray upgrade of Trouble in Paradise from 1932, the Ernst Lubitsch film. To make the jump to 4K for a Lubitsch film is great. I can't remember, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. If so, I think this is the first 4K Lubitsch, which feels like a pretty big deal on this one.
It definitely feels like a big deal, yeah.
Yeah. Love the cover of this one that I'm going to have to check out. Have you seen any Lubitsch films?
Another one that I have not seen. However, I do have fond memories of listening to Mark Cousins say his name in the History of Film documentary.
Good doc.
Yeah. And I just love the way that he says his name.
Next up, a film that, no joke, so a little peek behind the curtains of how I do announcements sometimes. Criterion, they usually announce on the 15th of every month, and so I was ready on the 15th, which was Thursday of last week, to post announcements, and I had something up on my screen ready to go, and what I normally do when I know that a certain company is going to announce, I fill in all of the information from what I can guess. I knew that they were doing April announcements, so I had the coming on April, the first Tuesday, which was, I think, the 7th, on 4K from Criterion, and I always put in a fake movie, so I just have to double click it to highlight and put something else in there. The fake movie I chose last Thursday was Life of Brian. I was like, there's no way Criterion will ever release Life of Brian, and then they literally announced it the one time that I typed it in there as the fake movie, and I was like, I literally called that. That was incredible. So we are getting a 4K and Blu-ray release of Life of Brian. Never saw them getting the rights back to this. This had been a Criterion DVD ages ago. 1979 release from Monty Python, which is a remarkable movie. This is going to have 2 audio commentaries. We've got a bunch of the Pythons in there. We've got the story Brian from 2007, which is a making of doc. There is a bunch of extras from way back in the day, including some deleted scenes, original illustrated recording, all kinds of stuff, including a new essay by Bill Gabiri. Do you have a history with the Life of Brian?
I actually don't have much of a history with Monty Python in general.
Nice.
It was never any. They were never anything my parents watched growing up, or anyone that I really knew. So like, even though I was familiar with them as I got older, I didn't really have anyone shepherding me towards their stuff, and they definitely are shameless material of something I need to see.
Have you seen any of them? Holy Grail? Nothing.
None. Like, I've seen the Monty Python guys in things, and I've seen some of Terry Gilliam's films, but I've not seen a proper Monty Python movie.
I think we should schedule a weekend, get us literally in person together, and watch all of their films back to back. I'm not kidding. Genuinely.
I will refrain from watching any of them until we can plan this.
Handshake, same. I wanted to watch Holy Grail again soon. That sounds amazing. We're doing this at some point, and
Yeah.
I cannot wait to talk about it. That sounds like a blast. Funny enough, I was raised a little bit on Monty Python's Flying Circus, but in a weird way, it was because it was on PBS on Saturdays, and I don't know why it was on PBS as a child. But
It's- Yeah, it's also interesting too, because like I don't know the age of your parents, but my parents were older than all of my friends' parents. Like my dad was born in 1954, so like I think by the time that Monty Python was doing their things, it just wasn't something he was interested in.
my parents were always younger than all of my friends' parents, but not super different in age from yours. My dad was born in '65, so around ish.
Yeah.
But to be fair, he probably should have loved Monty Python. He was kind of the perfect age for it. My dad was just an idiot. Well, still is an idiot. I think he's still alive. I haven't been notified of anything.
My dad
Um,
liked westerns. That was just kind of his bread and butter.
My dad liked alcohol. Anyways, let's go to the next one. That was a dark joke. I hope my sister's watching because she's probably laughing like crazy right now. Next, April 21st, we are getting a Blu-ray and DVD release from the Criterion Premieres collection of Resurrection from 2025. This is the Be Gone film, or Be Gone, I don't remember how you say his name. I think it's Began, something like that. This film is supposedly incredible. I've not had a chance to be able to see it yet. I love that Criterion is doing this. That being said, it always hurts when a film that I've heard is like ravishing beautifully, when its visual like splendor is displayed on screen. And I know that it's coming on Criterion Premieres because you know that that's not going to be a 4K. They only do Blu-ray on this line, Blu-ray and DVD. So I hope somebody else gets this and really delivers the potential here. Supposedly the colors are amazing. Have you been able to see this one yet?
No, but I actually just saw a trailer for it before No Other Choice. And I was instantly like, my wife and I both looked at each other and was like, we got to go see this.
Yeah.
Plus, I just love that. I don't remember which film critic put it, but I just love that the review they used in the trailer was "It's cinema with capital C."
That's pretty cool. That's a great review that I would be holding on to for a long time.
And
as a
it's the
filmmaker.
perfect type of trailer too, where it's just a vibes trailer. I don't know anything about this movie. I don't know it's like watching a Nicholas Winding Refn trailer. Like, I don't know what the fuck this movie's about, but I'll need to see it because it looks visually sumptuous.
There. Oh gosh, which one? I need to look up Refn. I always get the name of the title wrong. Nicholas Winding Refn. So somebody was describing Neon Demon to me, and they said it's the only movie that I love that they have a talking speed of about 13 words for every 4 minutes, and I'm somehow enthralled.
Yes, honestly. I'm an easy mark. Like the more pretentious he gets, the better. I just soak that shit up. I don't understand why.
Understandable. Next up, a big one this month. We are getting on April 21st a 4K and Blu-ray release of Point Blank. Point Blank is the title, from 1967. This is the Lee Marvin joint from John Boorman, a title that people adore, that has long needed a great release. And here we go. Brand new 4K digital restoration, supervised and approved by John Boorman. We've got a 4K disc and a Blu-ray disc. We got an audio commentary with Boorman and Steven Soderbergh, second Soderbergh name drop so far. We got an interview with Boorman conducted by the author Jeff Dyer, new interview with the critic Mark Harris, new reflections on the film by Jim Jarmusch. We've got a new program on the mid-century LA architecture featured in the movie with historian, that's not a word either, historian Alison Martino, and then The Rock from 1967, a short doc on Alcatraz and the making of the movie. Plus, there's a interview with Marvin from a 1970 episode of the Dick Cavett Show and an essay by Dyer. Like, this is a great looking release.
I have to buy this. I saw this years ago. So a lot of my stories about watching movies involve my mother, because she I didn't have many movie friends growing up, but I knew if it came on Turner Classic Movies, my mother would watch it with me. I saw this movie when I was like 14, 15 years old.
Nice.
Neither of us had seen it. It came on Turner Classic Movies. I just remember it finished, and my mom was like, "What did you think?" And I was like, "I think I loved it." And she said, "I think I hate it." And I've not seen it since. I've just been kind of riding that high ever since. So, with all of that, plus you're gonna throw some Soderbergh and Jarmusch in there. Hell yeah, I gotta pick this up.
That is a big deal. Yeah, glad it is out there. So that is Point Blank. Next, on April 28th, we got a Blu-ray release of the Eclipse series next title, and that is Kinuyo Tanaka Directs, a box set from 1953 to 1962. This will include Love Letter, The Moon Has Risen, Forever a Woman, The Wandering Process, Girls of the Night, and Love Under the Crucifix. The only special feature that they're listing for this is an essay by Imogen Sarah Smith, who is excellent, thankfully, but I do wish that we were getting more stuff in these box sets. But it'll be an HD release. It'll be nice to have these. I've not seen anything from Kinuyo Tanaka. Have you seen anything from them?
No, and actually, I'm relatively new to the Eclipse series, but I bought the Robert Downey Sr. one and loved that. So after that, I wanted to start kind of blindly jumping into some of these.
Yeah, I've got the first one that they just did on Blu-ray. Eager to see the rest that they do. I really hope they upgrade their Nakatsu. Nakatsu, is it Crime or I think it's Nakatsu Noir that they called their old Eclipse DVD set. We were talking about that in the Discord this week. I definitely want that one upgraded for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I just, it's I think I don't know what the mantra behind the Eclipse series is, but I can kind of put it together that maybe it's films that they don't have enough stuff that they can necessarily do standalone versions with,
Right.
or big box sets, but they're important films that they just, I don't want to say lump together because that sounds bad, but there's a thematic or reason for them to be together, or more similar, they're all the same director or something like that. I think it's great because it's still getting the Criterion treatment in terms of restoration work, even if it doesn't have the special features. And
Right.
I'm glad to see that this is a Blu-ray, because I know my Robert Downey Sr. one is a DVD. But that being said, as an AV nerd, like, we haven't even touched on my obsession with audiovisual stuff. Criterion DVDs still look really fucking good.
For a DVD, they truly do. I'm still amazed, especially mostly boutiques that have been doing DVDs for a long time release some really great DVDs, like Mondo Macabro DVDs. Some of those still look remarkable. I always laugh though, putting in a studio DVD. Like, we went to show the kids Honey, I Shrunk the Kids on DVD, and literally had to stop because it looked like absolute dog shit.
Yes, but yet, like, I have My Darling Clementine on DVD from Criterion, and it's better than some of the Mill Creek Blu-rays that I have.
I mean, low bar, but true.
Yeah,
true.
yeah. I just wanted to throw out a title.
Understandable. Let's go to our next one. This is a big deal too. April 28th, getting a 4K and Blu-ray box set, separated, not a dual format box set. They're doing a 4K box and a Blu-ray box of John Singleton's Hood trilogy. This is going to include Boys in the Hood, Poetic Justice, and Baby Boy from 91, 93, and 2001. Yeah, this is a must buy for me. Just plain and simple, as somebody that grew up in Southern California, was raised on a couple of these movies. Absolutely love it. We are going to get audio commentaries on all three films with Singleton. New conversation between Ryan Coogler and Regina King. That's another thing I want to see immediately. New documentary on Singleton's filmmaking process with some other people that were involved in his films. New audio interviews with Taraji P. Henson and Tyrese Gibson. Great. Some deleted scenes, archival extras, and then an essay by Julian Kimball. Any thoughts on John Singleton?
I've only seen Boys in the Hood, but it's a movie that really stuck with me. Another movie that my mother showed me at a very young age, and I feel like I am the person I am because I saw something like that at a young age, and it really stuck with me. Definitely need to pick this up.
Yep, this is the first sale after this goes on sale. It will be in my hands. More breaking Criterion news from last week is that Variety shared that they're going to be releasing 3 Neon films from this year on disc from Criterion over this next year. We are getting Jafar Panahi's It Was Just an Accident, Joachim Trier's Sentimental Value, and then Kleber Mendoka Filho's The Secret Agent. No news on 4K / Blu-ray, whatever is coming on those, or exact release dates. But how many of those 3 films have you seen, and what do you think of them?
Haven't seen any of them, but I
Whoa.
really wanted to see The Secret Agent and Sentimental Value. The first one I have not heard of, but I've heard of the filmmaker. So I definitely want to check out all these.
I will be getting all 3 of these. I have not seen It Was Just an Accident yet, but everybody I trust loves that movie. I love Sentimental Value, and I really have liked Secret Agent. I like how it was made more than the actual film itself, and there's some things that are breathtaking in Secret Agent. I think the opening for Secret Agent alone is going to stick with me for a long time. Just a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful scene. The way they crafted it, so good. And he's an incredible actor. So glad he was nominated today. All right. Other than that, let's talk about third-party retailers because I clicked twice. Let's go back to this. Diabolic DVD has announced that they've updated a couple things. One, finally, for the love of God, they are offering a version of free shipping. And all you have to do is order 3 things on Diabolic DVD, and they are going to give you a $6 credit when you're checking out. Now, this is interesting because it is free shipping, but it's not free shipping because it's not going to be listed as free shipping, but it will cover your price of shipping. But they also wanted it to work for international buyers. So if you buy at least 3 things internationally, you will get a $6 credit off of the total cost of your order. And obviously, they can't give you free shipping if you were going, internationally, because it's going to be like $30. But now you'll save $6, which is pretty cool. And then they're also doing a loyalty program. This is all live now. So on top of that, you will be able to get a point earned for every dollar that you spend. And once you've accumulated $300 of purchasing, you will receive a $20 coupon. Good towards anything on the site. They're working on some other perks with this software that they hope to roll out in the coming weeks, but that is pretty damn cool. Do you shop from Diabolic?
I do. They're usually one of the first places I look for, especially if something is slowly dwindling in numbers. I will check them. I usually like their prices quite a bit. My question though, if this so quote unquote free, but not really free shipping. So you said that you buy 3 things. I assume it's like a bundle, like you buy 3 titles or 3 things from their website, and then you said they give you a coupon.
Yes.
Can you bank those coupons? Can I just say choose to pay for my shipping?
No.
Darn, because that'd be fun.
Yeah. They will just give you $6 off of that purchase specifically. It will be listed at checkout. And then I guess the other thing to point out here is specifically it is 3 regularly priced items. So if they're having a sale
Items.
and you get 3 items in a sale, you will not get free shipping, which is rough.
I guess I get it.
All right, let's head to Australia with Imprint. We talked about this film a few months ago. March 25th, we're getting a Blu-ray release from Imprint of Up the Junction from 1968. This is the Susie Kendall film. This is going to have a brand new audio commentary by Josephine Botting and Melanie Williams. New interview with the assistant director, Michael Dryhurst. Have you seen this movie?
No, I've never even heard of this movie.
I had not the first time that we announced this a few months ago from Screenbound, but I'm dying to hear this. Everybody that was from the UK said this was a big one for them. I'm very curious to check this one out. Looks pretty fun.
Yeah, so you remember when we were kids and we were always told don't judge a book by its cover type. I need something to go off of, and a compelling or interesting poster goes a long way for me. I don't know anything about these movies. I would pick up these movies blindly just because I like the way it's being sold to me. I like looking at it.
Right. Understandable. Completely understandable.
It's raw and randy.
It's a great tagline. Let's be honest.
It really is. It's not as good as it's the Rocky of hockey, but it's pretty good.
I would love to see It's the Rocky of Hockey on the cover for Up the Junction.
Yeah. That'd be
Next up, same date, March 25th, a Blu-ray of Another Time, Another Place from 1958. I just want to point out that on Facebook, I posted this announcement. Somebody saw this cover and said in the comments, "Why does that look like Sean Connery?"
great. I wonder why.
I really wanted to say, do you know how to read? Because it literally points out that it is Sean Connery. This has new audio commentary by Lee Pfeiffer, Tony Latino, and Paul Scrabo. Imprint putting out a Sean Connery film, early Sean Connery. This looks like a fun release. It's the first time ever on Blu-ray, which is exactly what I love to see coming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one I'm not familiar with, but I do really like young Sean Connery.
Up the Junction, according to Vinny, has a great soundtrack, late 60s mod music, which, yeah, that's exactly one of the reasons I need to see it. Next up, another one that I've been meaning to check out. This had another Blu-ray release here in the U.S. a while ago. March 25th, a Blu-ray of 3 into 2 Won't Go from 1969. This is Steve Howard, a middle-aged British sales executive trapped in an unhappy marriage, has an impulsive affair with the young hitchhiker named Ella. But when Steve arrives home, he discovers Ella has introduced herself to Steve's wife, Frances, and moved in. With all his secrets under one roof, Steve must keep his relationship with Ella hidden at all costs. This has Rod Steiger in it. We got Claire Bloom, and then Judy Geeson also in this. This is going to have an audio commentary that's brand new from Matthew Asprey Gear, and then new interview with the actress Lynn Farley. And then the trailers from Hell portion will be on here as well. No idea about this movie. Never seen it. I definitely need to.
No, I'm familiar with the cast, but that's it. And I have to say, I like that I like when releases put those trailers from Hell, like trailer commentaries on their stuff.
Agreed. Steiger and Bloom were married at that time, says Terry in the chat. Thanks, Terry. I guess the chemistry must be pretty decent in this movie then.
Wouldn't it be funny if it was terrible? Like they have no
Or
chemistry whatsoever.
like the plot of the movie, it's actually the chemistry between him and the other woman.
Yes.
It's all steamy. So same day from Imprint again, Hot Enough for June from 1964. This one with Dirk Bogarde. This will have a new audio commentary by Matthew Asprey Gear as well. They're working on some more new special features, but they have not been announced yet. Once again, not my era of film, so I don't know much of anything about this
is a
one.
bit of a blind spot. I like a lot of the 60s comedies I've seen. A movie called Cactus Flower is one of my favorites. But yeah, this is not an era that I know a lot about, but I enjoy it. I enjoyed everything I've seen from it, so I'm usually good to blind buy stuff from this time period.
Nice. Next up is Some Girls Do from 1969. This is from Ralph Thomas, the director. This is a cult comedy spy film. We got a new audio commentary with Kim Newman and Barry Forshaw. New Lee Pfeiffer speaking on Richard Johnson, the man who was almost Bond. There is a new segment with Tony Latino, the film historian, on the spy craze of the 60s. We've got a new interview with Paul Scrabo, and then even more new special features that they're working on right now. This is a sequel to Deadlier Than the Male. This is supposed to be really great. I need to see this. Love that they're putting this out. Pretty good slate from Imprint.
Yeah, I love spy films and I love spy spoofs.
Agreed there. Last one from Imprint in this batch is Maroc 7 coming on the same day. This is from 1967. This is going to be with Gene Barry, Elizabeth Martinelli, Leslie Phillips, and Alexander Stewart. This will have a new audio commentary by Kim Newman and Barry Forshaw again. New interview with the producer, John Gale, and even more new special features. It is wild that they're putting so much on these small sort of underseen films that normally they would just put out maybe a commentary and that's it. But yeah, they're actually putting some money into these, which I love to see.
And I appreciate it because, like, honestly, like for some of these films, I would be fine just getting the film.
Right.
I love getting supplemental materials. But for some of these movies, just being able to see them is enough.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate when they can put something together, even if it's something small, just for some contextual information.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. Some of my favorite things about these. Let's go to a movie that came out last year that I did not get a chance to see that I'm dying to see. That is coming from Magnolia of the film Man Finds Tape. This is coming on February 24th on Blu-ray. This is a found footage movie that's supposed to be genuinely creepy, and I love found footage. How do you feel about found footage?
I ultimately like it. I wouldn't say I like. I haven't liked every found footage movie, but it's
No one has.
it's a genre that I find endlessly fascinating, and especially if they can find a conceit in which I'm not questioning why they're continuing the film.
Yeah.
Also, one thing that I also love when they lean into the fact that it is a movie. I'll never forget that in George Romero's Diary of the Dead, there's actually a scene of them editing the footage together, and I was like, I don't know why, but I weirdly appreciate seeing this.
I will say found footage is probably the genre with for me, some of the highest highs, but also some of the lowest lows possible.
Do you have a favorite?
Favorite found footage? My God.
Or just a strong one that comes off the top of your head. Cloverfield. That is a great. That one is. I think I got like a Paramount Steelbook for that a couple of years ago.
Yep.
And I had rediscovered that film, and it just holds up so well. As Above, So Below legitimately scared the shit out of me.
Adore it. Yeah.
So much, like, and to the point that like I haven't wanted to rewatch it just because I want to live in the memories that I have of how good that film was.
Right. One with the similar sort of vibe because it's more focused on horror than creature feature aspect of Cloverfield. The Last Exorcism. I love that movie, and then the last 90 seconds happen, and that ruins so much of that movie. But the rest of it is very, very good.
Rad.
Next up is from Wellgo USA from March 31st. You're going to be able to get a Blu-ray of the Takashi Miike film Blazing Fists. This says from Takashi Miike comes the story of Ikuto and Ryoma, troubled teens who meet in juvenile detention and plan to fight their way to freedom. Inspired by MMA fighter and Breaking Down founder Mikuro Asakura, the two boys set their sights on competing in Asakura's popular tournament. After their release, they discover they must defeat their pasts outside the ring before they can become champions inside it. How do you feel about Takashi Miike?
I like Takashi Miike quite a bit, and I'm always impressed by how many films he makes. Earlier in this broadcast, I talked about going to the Cannes Film Festival.
Yeah,
rented a tuxedo because I had a connection that got me into a red carpet screening, so I had to have a tuxedo for that. The red carpet screening I got to go to was a Takashi Miike film that I don't know if it ever got a physical media release here in the United States. It's called Shields of Straw.
I don't think so.
It was Miike kind of doing. It was Miike doing a Japanese cop film, but it was using American cop film tropes. It was really a wild movie. But I got to watch that movie with Miike in the audience.
No disc release in the U.S. Interesting. I feel like I need to see that pretty quickly.
Yeah. And so that's always a little laurel that I can put in my cap that I got to see a Miike film that you can't really find.
That nobody has seen.
Yes.
Wanted to shout out, we got some other found footage recommendations in the chat. Rec, phenomenal pick. Love that movie. Man Bites Dog. Have you seen Man Bites Dog?
Yes, I saw that back when IFC was cool. They used to show things like Man Bites Dog unedited on cable, and that's when I first saw it.
Interesting.
Now
seeing Man Bites Dog on cable is wild.
Yeah, now they just show reruns of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia all day.
I mean, also wild and also very fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to see this. I love Miike. Definitely want to check this one out.
I'm a sucker for movies that involve tournaments.
Okay. Have you seen Stiff Competition?
No, but should I? Let me Google.
It's you have to go
Google this.
You have to go to the Melusine site. It's a Vinegar Syndrome adult title about blowjobs.
Ooh, Stiff Competition.
What's such a random pull there? Anyways, we probably don't need to discuss Stiff Competition.
Let's talk about more Stiff Competition.
I can bring that up. We'll bring that up in another tab. Hey, Dracula. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Dracula. March 30th, Universal is putting out this beautiful Dracula Legacy collector's edition over in the UK. This is going to cover all of the Dracula films on 4K from 1931 to 1948. They had done all of these in the US last fall, but now you can get this in the UK in an even fancier set if you're into it. How do you feel about Dracula?
I love gothic horror. I love Universal monsters. It's not my favorite Dracula film, but I still love watching these. They are perennials for the fall. Always been a bigger Frankenstein guy, but I'm never gonna say no to watching Bela Lugosi.
Is your favorite Dracula film from the 90s?
Probably.
Bram Stoker's?
Yes.
I'm glad that we are on the same page there.
Coppola's my guy. Even when he fails, I just find that man endlessly fascinating.
It's a great movie. Stylish as hell. Chris says, Always Sunny has no complete series released on physical media, which sucks. It's not done yet. How could there be a complete series on physical media? They're still like setting the record every year for longest running narrative television show, I think, is the current record.
I think so. It's how many seasons I feel like I watched the first like 4 and then
I think we're up to like 17 or 18.
Insane. And that's coming. Well, I can't say anything. I'm a Simpsons fan. I can't say anything.
That's true. Simpsons is about to hit 30, right? Or already hit 30?
I think they're on 32.
Jesus. I lost count, I guess.
I watch it every Sunday. I don't pay attention to what season we're on.
I just know it's on.
Yep. It's almost like a warm blanket.
It's true. It is. Next up, coming soon on 4K. We don't have a release date yet, but Kino Lorber will be putting out Bulletproof from 1996, the Adam Sandler and Damon Wayans film Bulletproof. Any thoughts on Bulletproof?
I've actually never seen this, but I feel like I distinctly remember this poster in every video store I ever went to.
That's because it was in every single video store. So yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah. So is this a comedy? Is it an action film? Is it both?
Yes. Yeah. It's a pretty interesting mix of both. Kira is saying that Simpsons is on season 37. Is that accurate? That is insanity. So they're about to be on 40 in a couple years? Jesus.
I'm Googling it. I'm sure whoever that person was is. Oh yeah, they are absolutely correct.
South Park is on its 28th season. Jeez. Whew, man.
I'm at a loss for words.
Yeah, same on all of those things. Stan says, happy to report I've never seen an episode of Always Sunny. Why are you happy? The show is literally brilliant. It is amazing. Anyways, I won't belabor that point. Let's keep going. Coming soon on Blu-ray from Kino is Manon 70, a.k.a. French Mistress from 1968, starring Catherine Deneuve. Not a movie I'm familiar with. Anything on this one?
No, I like Catherine Deneuve.
Yeah, I think I've only seen her in a couple things, but yeah.
But hey, I love that Kino is finding shit to put out.
That's true. Coming soon. That's the wrong word, because it's coming on March 31st, even though that is soon. Blu-ray set of Malfeasance, 4 films by Yves Boisset from 71 to 82. This is supposedly great. This is going to be the cop. Is that the title? I need to be able to zoom in, and I can't see it. There's Mad Enough to Kill, Angel's Leap, and The Woman Cop, and the last one is Rise Up Spy. The first 3 films, all newly restored in 4K. Rise Up Spy is a 2K restoration. We've got new commentaries on this one, including Max Allen Collins, Heath Holland. We've got Alexander Heller Nicholas and Howard S. Berger, Nathaniel Thompson. Supposedly, these are incredible. Anybody in the chat seen these? I'd love to hear some more about these.
Yeah, they look interesting.
Somebody was calling this one of their most anticipated releases, which is always exciting.
Yeah.
Next up, we are getting a 4K steelbook of 1996's Sleepers, a film that I have seen advertised many, many times. I've still never been able to see. This is supposed to be pretty great. We've got some big, big names in this one. Have you seen Sleepers?
I could lie, but no, I have not seen it.
So big names: Robert De Niro, Dustin Hoffman, Kevin Bacon, Brad Pitt, Jason Patrick, all directed by Barry Levinson. This is supposed to be incredible. Definitely need to see Sleepers. And don't worry, this 4K steelbook is not a final piece of art. They are obviously going to put art there entirely. Yeah, I've heard this is good. Colton says it's a time capsule. Aaron says pretty good, not great.
Well, no. Colton says it is ... a time capsule, which changes the I feel like the
connotation
intent
for
quite a bit.
sure.
Yes.
I did bury the lead there a little bit. You're right. Sorry to all the podcast listeners. Hey, let's talk about two films that I've seen recently and loved. In late February or early March, we are getting two titles from Deaf Crocodile that I am stoked to be able to see finally coming out. We are getting a 4K Blu-ray dual format release of Song of the Miraculous Hind from 2002. This is a wild film. I don't even know how to begin to explain this. So let's see what Dennis has listed here. He says this is from Marcel Yankovic, and this is, or Marcel Jankovic. I don't remember how you say it. I'm sorry, Dennis and Craig. Craig, who's in the chat. Hi, I love you. This is the follow-up to Son of the White Mare, which you all may have seen if you got that from the previous release of that from Arbalos or from Eureka. This was made during the production on The Tragedy of Man. This is the ambitious attempt to depict thousands of years of Hungarian culture and myth in one film, based in part on early Siberian and Finno-Ugric legends and incorporating Scythian, Iranian, Turkic, and artistic influences all mixed up into one. It's divided into 4 sections. The animation in this is absolutely beautiful. Cannot wait for people to be able to see this. This is the first ever 4K release of this. There is going to be a new interview with the composer, Levente Surenev. There is going to be the animator as part of that interview as well. The interview is incredible. I think that people are going to love that, especially because the composer was in a pretty big band at the time. And of course, Dennis Bartok had a record on hand from him loving the band Illish from the 60s. And the fact that he could hold that up and see the guy's face light up, it's a good interview. Check it out. New commentary on this by Adam Rakoff, James Hancock, and Martin Kessler. Of course, the deluxe edition has a booklet with Jenny Barker and Walt Cha writing in it. This movie is legendary. You need to see this. There was a clip that was posted recently on the Deaf Crocodile social media. If you are into animation at all, you will fully love this movie. Please check it out.
Well, I think me and you had a conversation recently, and how I
Yes.
admitted that I have not seen any Death Crocodile releases. I'm gonna have to pick this up. This looks fascinating.
It is amazing. I love that this director went from making his film, The Tragedy of Man, that was going to cover all of humanity and everything outside of humanity in one film, to take a small break to make this movie that is only covering 50,000 years of civilization.
Man, how lazy. Only 50,000 years?
It is hilarious. And it's just a wild setup. I think people need to see this. It's incredible. And I will give the full list of recommendations for stuff that I think you would love soon.
Yes. Oh, you gave me a partial list.
Right. That was like the intro pack.
Yes. Like, well,
the intro pack was still like 11 long or something.
It was. And I am excited to, once I have a little extra cash, to be able to get my first Death Crocodile release.
Well, if you're up for another one and love Bill Plimpton, we are also getting a Blu-ray release of Hair High from 2004. This is one of Bill Plimpton's greats, in my opinion. So glad that Deaf Crocodile got a chance at this one. This is essentially a horny high school movie with one of the biggest casts in anything that Bill Plimpton has ever done. In this movie, we got Sarah Silverman, Dermot Mulroney, Beverly D'Angelo, David and Keith Carradine, Ed Begley Jr., Martha Plimpton. We've got Justin Long. There's major names in this movie. It is hilarious. We've got multiple short films on this, including Horn Dog, which is great. There's a new interview with Mr. Bill Plimpton himself, of course. Maureen McElron is in that interview as well. New visual essay by the one and only Celeste de la Cabra, friend of the show. She did an essay called Horny High, Sex Identity and Animated Anarchy in Hair High, and you will love it. It is a great one. Thanks for that, Kubrick. Appreciate you. This also is going to come with the new commentary by the same people we just mentioned on that last release. We've got James Hancock, Martin Kessler, and Adam Rakoff on that one. One thing that's cool about this, the Deaf Crocodile guys aren't always able to get this, but they were able to get everything from the DVD release, or mostly everything at least. That's also going to be on the Blu-ray, so lots of archival extras. Slipcase with new writing by Walt Cha, and there's another. Wow, I just saw that this completely cut off my announcement. That's good to know. There was other stuff here. Walt Cha and another essay is in this. Sorry, Craig. Yeah, Bill Plimpton. Have you checked out anything from Bill Plimpton ever?
Surprisingly, no, except for Bill Plimpton, going back to The Simpsons, did some of the most interesting couch gags. There is one that I will always remember, and I send it to everyone, where it is a love story of Homer and the couch, and he impregnates the couch.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
I will send it to you. Ever since then, I've been kind of obsessed with his work. I've not been able to find any of his stuff. So while we've been sitting here talking, just added this to my cart.
Amazing. Amazing. It's a good movie. Everybody needs to see it. It is it's so great. Not much else to say. I love Bill Plimpton, and I'm honored that I've been able to have him on the show. He's just incredible. Next up, February 24th, Wellgo USA putting out Rescue at Dongji from 2025, and it says, when the Japanese troop ship Lisbon Maru is torpedoed off the coast of Dongji Island, the lives of over 300 British soldiers on board are threatened. Their only hope is a small group of defiant fishermen who will do anything to save them. The trailer for this actually looks pretty good. I'm curious to check this one out.
I have not even heard of this one.
Wellgo USA does that a lot. They seem to grab some films that not many people have heard of. Yeah, this looks good. I'm very curious about this. I believe this is a mainland China film, which we don't get a lot of those on physical release here in the US.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by it.
I may be wrong on the mainland China thing, but I believe I read that about that. If I'm wrong, I apologize in advance. Little known indie filmmaker named Christopher Nolan is putting out a couple of his films on disc again. March 23rd, we're getting a 4K steelbook only over in the UK of The Prestige. We are also getting on that exact same day a 4K steelbook of Dunkirk. Good looking steels. One of these two is my favorite Christopher Nolan movie ever. How do you feel about Nolan?
Mixed. He's a filmmaker I enjoy watching. But his films don't. I feel like the more recently his films aren't really sticking with me the same way.
Yeah,
I love The Prestige. That is one that my wife actually showed me. But we just recently watched Oppenheimer and I hated it. So mixed bag.
Yeah. I would understand that. Terry says he hated the sound design in Dunkirk, pissed me off. I feel like there were a couple scenes that were really great for the sound in Dunkirk, but I agree. Christopher Nolan has never been great with sound.
No, and he kind of digs his heels in a very weird way. I still remember when he was making his third Batman film, studio executives complained that Bane was unintelligible. So he went the complete opposite direction and turned up his vocals so high that it felt like it was peaking through the entire film.
Yeah.
But he's always had a problem. I've always had a problem with his mixes when it comes to dialogue. And I've got a pretty decent home theater setup that I put a lot of time and effort into manually calibrating, and it's still tough.
That's rough. I understand completely. Like obviously Tenet has been complained about endlessly, so I won't say much, but it's wild. The mixing on some of these films. Come on. Like we can do better than that. Ridiculous.
Yeah, and he's also really has dug his heels into where he's pretty much sticking with 5.1.
Yeah. Which sucks because he seems to be wanting to push the envelope on some technological things, but we can do way better with audio. So let us. I don't know. March 10th, we are getting from Universal a Blu-ray release of Resident Alien, the complete series, and also Resident Alien Season 4. That way, if you've got the first three, you can just pick up the fourth one. I have not seen even a single moment of the show, but I've heard that it's incredible. I love Alan Tudyk, and the story here sounds very fun. Have you seen this?
No, I feel like I've seen some clips. I didn't realize they had 4 seasons.
4 seasons and a good, strong ending, supposedly. It supposedly does not end on a cliffhanger because they planned on being done. All right. Next up, Imprint announced another TV venture. March 25th, they are putting out a TV Movie of the Week collection number 4. This is going to have To Kill a Cop from 1978, Cocaine and Blue Eyes from 1983, A Killing Affair from 1977, which is only in SD. And either way, I totally forgot, glossed over the first one. Contract on Cherry Street is the third one there. A couple of these are first time on Blu-ray. Contract on Cherry Street is To Kill a Cop is the first time on Blu-ray. And actually Cocaine and Blue Eyes, also first time on Blu-ray. There's a bonus film on that last one, like I said, but that's it. No extras on these. How do you feel about TV films?
I like TV films. I'm glad a lot of them are getting releases now because they were kind of notoriously hard to find for the longest time.
Long time.
Like currently I'm working through like the Dan Curtis TV Mysteries box set from Kino.
Nice.
Just love that these are available, and I'm struggling to talk. I'm curious to see if what the surviving elements of this are going to be, if they were saved on tape, or if I'm just curious to see how they look.
From 77, 78, and 83, I would imagine many of them were still film elements, especially the first two. Not sure. Brian, who works sound out of New York, said the sound mixer who recorded Bane for Dark Knight Rises was fired after that studio note.
Damn.
Good to know.
Well, thank you for that. The interesting fact I can now add to my story.
Next up, also from Imprint, they are putting out the New Avengers, the complete series. This is the same show that just got a 4K release in the UK from, I believe, Studio Canal. All of the same extras as far as I can tell. I don't think there's anything new that is on this compared to that one. And this is only Blu-ray compared to that 4K. It's not going to get another 4K release. They would lose money if they were to put this out on 4K. So absolutely an okay choice. But there's a lot of people that love British TV, and they will likely buy this.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the New Avengers, but I have seen a handful of the Avengers. A friend of mine, they grew up watching the Avengers, so I've seen some of the episodes with them.
Yeah, I when Imprint put out the first series of the Avengers, I saw those for the first time, and genuinely, really well made, fun show.
Yeah, it's a good time.
All right, going to our next one. Sorry, I was getting all kinds of notifications in my pocket because of Amber Alerts. Good to know. Let me just put that away. March 31st, there is a Blu-ray coming from Alliance themselves. And the horror section, which is the Eli Roth-owned production company of Dream Eater, which came out last year. This is going to be their first release of this type. It is coming with a slipcover. It is going to have some extras on here with a director's commentary, behind-the-scenes featurette with Eli Roth, behind-the-scenes photo gallery, some trailers. And then it will also have alternate packaging with the wrap on the inside with filmmaker-approved art and a folded mini poster in here. Did you happen to see Dream Eater last year?
No, I didn't even hear it with this one.
Amazingly, not only did I hear about it, I saw this in a theater last year and really, hated this movie.
All right.
Speaking of found footage that is bad, I hated this found footage movie because of exactly what you and I said. The conceit made zero sense whatsoever. Check it out. If anybody else saw this and liked it, please let me know. But I did not like this movie in any way. The conceit makes no sense. The acting is pretty bad. The story I could have liked if it was done a little bit differently, but my goodness, did not like it. Next up, another one that I wanted to see over this last year, Hallow Road is coming on Blu-ray on March 31st from Decal and XYZ together. This one is with Rosamund Pike and Matthew Rhys. Not seen this one. Any thoughts on either of them?
No, I like the actors, just haven't seen it, haven't heard of it.
I do not like this poster. I feel like we've gotten this exact poster 73 times in the last 3 years.
Yeah, it's a poster.
Just leaning into the absolute trope of every single indie film has too many drone shots nowadays.
That's absolutely true.
Next up, let's go back to Australia and talk about Umbrella. Are you somebody that has anything from Umbrella?
Yes. I don't have much. I'm trying to think of what I do have.
Asking the tough question, sorry.
No, it's fine. I think I have their oh god, give me 1 second. I had to just check. I know I have at least one title there. Okay, yeah, I have the Pusher trilogy that they put out.
Nice.
And
I just got in.
I have one other title as well. I just can't think of which one it was.
God, Colton, thank you. I hate the drone shots in so many of those indie films so much. Yes, Terry has many films from Umbrella. So does Key-Ray. Wake and Fright, great release. Absolutely. I just got in literally today their release of Lake Mungo. Here is this box. Have not even been able to open it yet. Very curious to see the documentary that came with this because I love that movie. So let's talk about some Umbrella. May 6th, they're putting out a 4K Blu-ray dual format release of Matador from 1986. This is the Pedro Almodovar film that was just recently announced on 4K over in the UK from Radiance as well. So we got a competing release here. We've got different extras on this. So if you love Almodovar, you might actually want both. We got a commentary from the wives Colangelo. We've got BJ and Harmony Colangelo there. Stephen Thrower speaking on Almodovar and the horror film. We've got new actor Assumpta Serna interviewed by Enter Focus on this one. And then new featurette called Dangerous Passions, LGBTIQ plus filmmakers reflect on Matador. How do you feel about Almodovar?
I've only seen a couple of his films. This one I've not seen, so this one intrigues me. I might need to pick this up. And also, I remembered it was Super Mario Brothers is the other one
that is a big one to remember. I get it.
But no, this looks interesting, and I also like that the Colangelos are on here. They are some of my favorite people talking about film and film culture right now. So.
BJ is very fun to follow on Instagram, and
yes.
I think she's on TikTok because she reposts the same videos there. Great film criticism and very snarky in the best of ways.
I also love her podcast that they do.
Yes. This Ends at Prom?
Yes.
I'm kind of shocked I remember the exact title because my brain is mush right now. Let's carry on to the next Umbrella. Did I just skip one accidentally? Oh, it looked like it. So the next one is a very weird, or would you say out there box set. This is coming on May 6th, Blu-ray only on this, and it's called Out There by Toei. And I'm saying it's out there because these are covering films from 1978, one movie from 1978, and then 2006 and 2007, all produced by Toei, but a very interesting setup box set. We've got A Message from Space from 78. We've got Yo-Yo Girl Cop from 2006.
Yo-Yo Girl Cop.
Yep. Hair Extensions from 2007, and then X-Cross from 2007 as well. I feel like you need to see Yo-Yo Girl Cop immediately.
With a title like that, how can I go wrong?
Yes. I need this box set. It looks like a great release. We've got brand new interviews with Kenta Fukasaku. We've got commentaries from Sam Deegan on multiple films here. We've got Patrick Macias, who's usually pretty great on these. Um, I need to check this out. This is such an interesting release. And yes, I had the exact same thought, Craig. Message from Space is coming out. And what's funny is Message from Space is a film that was literally stolen into a Mexican animated film from decades ago called Roy del Espacio, or Roy from Space. And they took a scene from Message from Space and put it in the film, completely just ripped it and threw it in there with no permission whatsoever. And now Deaf Crocodile had to go in and commission people to animate a new scene over that part of the movie.
Whoa.
Brand new hand-drawn animation for the film.
That's nuts.
Yeah. Love that they're doing that. And that's why I support Deaf Crocodile with everything. Next up from Umbrella, May 6th, a Blu-ray coming of Uzumaki, aka Spiral from 2000. This is the same film that was released here in the US already by Discotheque. So if you have that, you may not need to get this one, but it does have some new extras. So if you love this movie or you love Amber T, you should check it out because Amber T's got a new commentary on this. Brand new commentary by Elijah Thomas here as well. A bunch of interviews that are coming on this film. We've got a lot of cool stuff. Have you seen Uzumaki?
I can't say that I have. I feel like that's been the trend of this episode.
It's the trend of every episode, and that's why we're all here discovering it together. Do you know who Junji Ito is?
Yes.
This is based on Uzumaki Spiral from Junji Ito, and it's the
All right.
first live-action version of that story.
Well, then I'm pretty sold off of that then.
Now, what's interesting, if I remember the story right, I believe this was actually made while he was still finishing that manga, and so the ending here is very different than what you see in the actual manga of Uzumaki.
I always find it fascinating when something like that happens, where an adaptation comes before something's finished. I feel like a big example of that was the first Kick-Ass film. He wasn't done with the series, so Matthew Vaughn just made an ending.
Good movie though. I liked Kick-Ass.
Yeah. I don't remember the second one, but yeah. So this sounds interesting to me, and I'll definitely have to keep an eye out on this one.
Gary says, I think I'm going to read the manga because the Netflix series and this do not look great. The Netflix series is supposedly real bad. This is at least fun. I've got the Discotheque release, so I don't need this one. But this movie is at least a compelling watch, I will say. Going to our next announcement. This is the last one from Umbrella, a brand new film from last year called Diabolic, with a C, not a K. This is one of their smaller films. They tend to do this every few months, although they've dropped it off the last couple announcement slates. So it's nice to see one of these come back where it's a modern cult title. This says 17-year-old Elise undergoes a baptism for the dead ritual with the FLDS, a Mormon offshoot where young women are baptized on behalf of the deceased. I really want to see this. Just the setup for that film sounds compelling to me, especially with my background. Multiple audio commentaries on this, 3 of them to be exact. There's also a new promotional featurette. Yeah, what do you think about that?
Another film that I've not heard of, but it looks interesting.
I agree. 2 more Hammer titles coming from Studio Canal. On April 6th, we're getting a 4K Blu-ray dual format release of Blood from the Mummy's Tomb from 1971. This is a brand new 4K restoration with new artwork by Johnny Dombrowski. There is a 64-page booklet with new essays and the original press kit.
64 pages?
64 pages.
Wow.
2 posters. One of them is the new artwork. One of them is the original theatrical artwork. We've also got some new on-disc extras, including Valerie's Leon inside the Mummy's Tomb. We've got That's a Wrap, Kim Newman exploring Blood from the Mummy's Tomb, and then all kinds of archival extras. Hammer, are you into any of the Hammer films?
I do. I am into Hammer. I have not seen a huge selection of their stuff, but I do like a lot of what I've seen. I just like how operatic a lot of their films are. I just recently reviewed the Warner Archive release of Curse of Frankenstein, and I enjoyed that one quite a bit. I'm in agreement with Terry Talks Movies here. This is giving Venture Brothers.
Very much so. I actually really like this art.
I didn't like it. It's just I truly thought it was a Venture Brothers thing that I just didn't know about. But for 64-page booklet, that's tempting.
it looks pretty great, and it's a little pricey. It's $50 US
Oh,
to get
that's
it from
not
one.
too bad. I feel like I pay that for, Vinegar Syndrome titles, so that's fine.
You absolutely do. But if you want a companion piece for it, they're also doing Demons of the Mind on the
Now
same
it's
day.
$100.
Now it's $100, and here is the new art on that
Oh,
one.
that's pretty neat.
Yeah, all of their updated art for these, I don't know, I kind of like them, and they're gonna do all of the ones they've got the rights to. You just know they are. This looks great. Again, brand new 4K restoration, 64-page booklet with new essays, 2 posters. We've got a new Virginia Weatherall on Demons of the Mind, audio commentary with Steve Haberman, and then all kind of extras. Yeah, I love these Hammer releases. I gotta say. And Craig is right. All the Deaf Crocodile releases have 60-page books, and they're only $34.
Well, like I said, I've already got at least one of them in my cart. So,
We can bump that up to about 7. I mean, what?
well, if you want to donate some funds to help me get 7, I won't say no.
Or if anybody watching wants to, the Shameless Picture Show Patreon link is in the description below too. Look at that.
Look at you.
I'm whoops. Always have to click something wrong. I'm always terrible at promoting my own things, but happy to help you. March 3rd, Sony Pictures Classics putting out a Blu-ray and DVD release of Merrily We Roll Along. This is what I alluded to earlier about
is this the movie you're talking about? Okay.
Broadway musicals coming to disc. I actually saw this in the theater last year, and I got to admit, I liked this way more than I thought I would.
That
Way
being
more.
said, there's always been a poster conceit that I hate. I hate when the names are up top.
Different order.
Match. Yeah, I know it has to do with contracts and such, but it just bugs the hell out of me.
Yeah, it's not great. I don't love that they do it either. Yeah, I just honestly very impressed that this is getting a disc release. I did not expect this to get a disc release, but the names in it, I guess, with Daniel Radcliffe and Jonathan Groff and Lindsay Mendez, a big draw. I love that they're doing it. Fun release. And I guess we're supposed to get a Linklater film for Merrily We Roll Along eventually too. Might be 14 years or whatever, but hey, it's supposedly being worked on. Let's talk about Street Trash from 1987. Lightbulb Films over in the UK putting out a 4K in this big limited VHS giant box art on April 27th. This is going to have over 8 hours of extras, including over 5 hours of brand new extras. So much to cover here. From Spookies to Speed Trash, an interview with Street Trash producer Frank M. Farrell discussing his work on both his cult 80s horror films, a visual essay by Daryl Buxton. There's going to be a feature-length documentary by Jason Impey looking at the making of and impact of Street Trash. Lots of new stuff here. It's kind of wild. Have you seen Street Trash? And if so, what do you feel about it?
So I actually have it. I think I have the old Synapse DVD of Street Trash. I feel like it's been burning a hole on my shelf. I feel like I see it every time I go through the horror section, and I always pass it by for some reason. I've still not gotten around to watching this damn movie.
It's not a great movie, but man, is this a fun movie. I mean, you can't just count on any movie to have you throwing around a severed penis in a junkyard. That's got to call your name, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I agree with Gary.
You might be selling me.
I agree with Gary. I don't normally love art cards, but when they're melty like this, these do look very cool.
I'm with you. I just never know what to do with them. Like when I get films in for review that come with art cards, I'll show them off, but then they just go back in the case and I never look at them again.
I agree, which is why I will never be making them on any of my releases. God, no. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that. If a filmmaker is basically demanding it, I will probably talk to them, but my God. Jean Roland. Have you seen any Jean Roland films over the years?
I'm trying to think. It's a filmmaker I'm really familiar with, but I'm trying to think if I've actually ever watched any of them. I don't believe so. I believe I believe this is a blind spot. At one point, I had talked with Sam Deacon about coming on my show, and we're to discuss some of them, but future episodes.
Jesper is saying thank us for not invading Greenland. Glad you're here tonight, Jesper. That's amazing. Let's talk about the next indicator released April 20th in the UK, April 21st in the US. There is a separate set of 4K and Blu-ray releases of two genre-long films coming. The first is The Grapes of Death from 1978. This is about a young woman named Elizabeth who is traveling deep into winemaking country, only to find that the locals bearing horrific signs of an infection and behaving violently because they are zombies. Teaming up with Paul and Lucian, she discovers a deadly pesticide is transforming those who drink the local wine into murderous zombies. This is a legendary looking release. Jeremy Ritchie does a brand new commentary for it, and there's all kinds of archival extras on here, multiple documentaries, multiple featurettes, multiple interviews, a critical appreciation by Stephen Thrower so that you know that you absolutely want it.
Yeah, I do.
This is just a ridiculously great looking release. I will absolutely be owning it. And while you're there, you may as well pick up The Living Dead Girl, which is from 1982. This is the second title coming out in the exact same day. This says a spillage of toxic waste causes Catherine to rise from the dead with an insatiable taste for blood. Returning to her family home, she is reacquainted with her childhood friend, Helene, who tries to understand Catherine's predicament and becomes her accomplice with tragic consequences. This is going to have another set of commentaries on here, one from 2003, one brand new with Kevin Lyons and Jonathan Rigby, some selected scenes commentary with one of the actors, all kinds of archival extras. We've got some new interviews. There's going to be a lot of stuff that was previously recorded and has now been re-edited, which I kind of like that they're updating those. This looks even more loaded than the other one. And don't forget, each of these has a booklet. Kind of crazy. Highly recommend both of these genre-long titles. Two of his best movies. This is a strong month for them.
These look cool. And yeah, these look really neat.
Yeah, strong. I know that you haven't tried any out yet, but these Fascination, a couple of the vampire movies like Rape of the Vampire is pretty decent. Yeah. I recommend checking it out. Let's see what is next. We've got Second Run. I held up their release of Manthan earlier tonight, and they don't put out a lot, but we are getting Long Live the Republic from 1965. This is coming on Blu-ray in the UK on March 16th. This is going to have a new HD transfer of the best existing materials by the Czech National Film Archive. There is going to be an interview with Karel Kachnia from 1998. There is going to be from 1963, A Memory for the Present. Jan Nemec's, that's probably not the right way you say that name, but I am completely uncultured. There's an acclaimed short film here reflecting on the memory and legacy of World War II that is brand new remastered in HD. Book with new writing on the film by an author named Peter Hames, which you are maybe familiar with because he does a lot of this stuff. Jesper, you can only see your comments because you're in the portrait stream. You got to come over to the landscape stream where all the cool kids are hanging out. This is going to be region free. Pretty much all of the second run releases are region free. Are you into any Czech films?
Can't say that I've seen any, nor do I own anything from second run, but it's a cool cover. I'm intrigued.
Very, very strong company. You can definitely trust what they put out. They do great work. Next, Cobra Kai, a show that I've seen nothing from, is getting a Blu-ray complete series release, and the last season is getting a standalone DVD release on March 3rd. That is coming from Sony Pictures themselves. Netflix does not own that show, which is why they're able to release it. It is not a Netflix it's not a Netflix production. It was just a Netflix streaming exclusive. So Sony's the one that made the choice to be able to put this out. All 65 episodes, are coming. You've got all kinds of discs. I think it's 15 discs. You've got some deleted scenes, featurettes, blooper reel, stuff like that. Are you a Cobra Kai person?
Watched all of it with my wife, and it's actually funny. My wife watched all of it. She got really hooked on it with me, and she had never seen any of the Karate Kid films.
Wow.
And I don't particularly like the first Karate Kid movie. My favorite Karate Kid movie is the next Karate Kid. So I'm sure I'll get banned from this show now for that. My order of ranking actually goes next Karate Kid 3, 2, 1.
Wow. That
Yes.
is the hottest of takes that I've ever heard on
I
Karate
know,
Kid, I think.
I know, but like this show was just really trashy and fun. And I had a good time. I wouldn't say it's a good show, but I had a lot of fun with it.
I got one person saying the hell, one person saying banish him.
That's fun.
All right.
Yeah, I'm used to it.
Cobra Kai is actually better than any of the Karate Kid sequels, says Gary.
That's fair.
I gotta be honest, I have never been a Karate Kid person myself. I've seen the first one many, many times. Don't really love any of the sequels, and I don't love the first one. There is nothing about Cobra Kai that seems interesting to me at all.
Honestly, the only other take that I have had that has gotten me this kind of hate was that I think Ghostbusters is a bad movie,
Interesting.
and
Well,
Ghostbusters 2 is significantly better.
I may be in line with that. It's been a long time since I've seen the sequel, but yeah, interesting. All right.
So I
That
do want to
is
mention real quick that someone else agrees with me in the chat that the next Karate Kid is also their favorite. So a little bit of commonality there.
Scott is saying I'm probably the only person on earth who loves the next Karate Kid, so definitely not.
Hell yeah, me Scott, we can be friends.
Silent Mandible hates Ghostbusters. You got friends there too.
All right.
Ronnie says loving the hot takes. Yeah, you're obviously not getting banished. We love every
I don't know. One person did say banish them.
It's a good thing they don't control the show. Speaking of controlling the show, I do control my podcast network, which is why I was able to welcome today. Two in the Pinku is now a part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network. Please come check out the show. The show is amazing. Anything about pink film, anything about gay Pinku, anything about I always forget the word for it. What is the Barazoku is the other one for gay Pinku. Nikatsu Roman porno. Absolutely love Dakota and Chris. Brand new episode out today on the films of Hisayasu Sato Volume 2. Please go download and check it out. The show is amazing. Are you into pink films? Have you heard of the show?
I've heard you talk about the show. I've not seen a lot of pink films, but the show intrigues me.
People, I just saw Gary's comment. Don't ban him, but sweep his leg is a really funny comment.
I seem to have created some dissonance in your comments, and I think I have personally offended the deaf crocodile people.
I hope so.
All the crazies find out they're not alone.
It's worth it. Check out Two in the Pinku. I just love saying that title. Next, March 17th, Warner Archive releasing the Humphrey Bogart collection. This will include Passage to Marseille. We've got Conflict, Chain Lightning, and They Drive by Night. I love these packages because you're getting 4 different discs. Every single film has their own disc, still the exact same disc that was released in the standalone Blu-ray. And if you don't own any of these movies, it'll be cheap. This is going to come out, and you'll be able to get this for like $32, and it's 4 great releases all in one set. I mean, there's nothing to complain about here.
I really love what the Warner Archive is doing. Heck, I was even a big supporter of them back when they were just doing made-on-demand discs. I just like that this stuff is being put out there.
Most of those made-on-demand discs are not good anymore.
No, they're not. I think I still have Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, or
Yep.
I think I still I haven't tested it in a while. However, I will give Warner Archive Warner Brothers some credit. I reached out to them with some discs that had issues, and they sent me replacements.
I feel like they pick and choose who they're sending replacements to. There are some people that never get any response or any discs, and then others are like, yeah, I've always gotten everything from Warner.
Yeah. They sent me a new version of my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collection that was skipping too, so I'll give them some credit.
Nice. Only 2 announcements left, and then we're done. February 24th, we are getting a Blu-ray of Debs from 2004. This is one that I've always wanted to see, have not been able to check out. Crime boss Lucy Diamond is back in the States, and the Debs, an elite team of paramilitary college co-ed super spies, are hot on her trail. But when their top agent, gorgeous Amy Bradshaw, mysteriously disappears after coming face-to-face with the young villainess, the Debs begin a full-scale search for Lucy's secret lair, never suspecting that Amy may not want to be rescued after all. A smart and sexy spy spoof about love at first gun sight. This is going to have the director's commentary, cast commentary, deleted scenes, infiltrating Debs, and an animatic. And I have to shout out, Ronnie is thrilled about this. Says, so excited about Debs finally getting a Blu-ray. Great lesbian spy comedy that was misunderstood and very wrongly panned by clueless mainstream hetero film critics upon its release. And it's Ronnie's birthday, so Merry Christmas, happy birthday. So glad you're stoked. Congrats, Ronnie. This is great.
Love
Have you seen this one?
Site nearly crushed me. I think I'm just getting tired. That was way funnier than I was expecting it to be. I've not seen it. I've seen. I feel like I remember seeing this cover somewhere, but yeah, I've never seen it.
This was like one of the last video store posters that were everywhere for a while.
Maybe that's why I know it, because yeah, that sounds right.
And then our last one for the night, Well Go USA, putting out the 2024 film Ghost Train on Blu-ray and DVD on February 17th. This says a young YouTuber is desperate to boost her channel's popularity with content about a mysterious train station famous for its haunted history of suicides and disappearances. When she uploads a video about the eerie urban legends, it goes viral overnight, and like most creators, she is hungry for more. Despite everyone's warnings, she asks the station master for more ghost stories, but while investigating the strange disappearances, she uncovers a terrifying and deadly truth. From what I just read, I believe this is an anthology film. How do you feel about anthologies?
I'm mixed on anthologies.
As you should be.
I love the idea of them. A lot of times they often feel longer because it's like, so I've gone to a lot of film festivals, and even though I have made primarily short films, I hate going to short film blocks because it feels a 2-hour block when you're watching like 12 short films and you're going through that many ups and downs and narrative arcs. It feels exhausting. And I often feel that way with anthology films. There's ones I really like, but it's not a type of film that I get excited for.
Right.
Another hot take that I'll probably get some hate for. I don't really like Creepshow that much, and big reason why is it feels really long. Like there's some of the segments I like, but as a whole, I don't think the film fully works for me.
Understandable. I do get that. I disagree, but I get it. I do get it.
Everyone disagrees with me. That's fine.
It is true. Everyone has never agreed with you. That is right.
Yeah.
Anthology films, I will say, I like a lot of them, and then a lot of them are also just truly awful. Not even like remarkably close to being decent. So it's one of those things. The medium is tough.
Yeah, I did love Tales from the Hood, though. I just saw that one this year.
That one's great.
Yeah, that one is great.
I
feel like my enjoyment of a big part of it comes down to how strong the wraparound is.
That is true.
Or if they can do something, say, like more in the vein of Trick or Treat, where there isn't a wraparound, but all the stories bleed into each other so seamlessly, it feels like I'm watching one film.
I love Trick or Treat. I think it is maybe the best anthology film ever made.
I will agree with you. It's at least my favorite, if anything.
Well, that is all the announcements for the week. Let's now remind people what is coming out next week. This is the last week of the month, so all of the OCN and Vinegar Syndrome announcements will be listed here, but let's cover some of the other ones, including World War Z 4K Steelbook from Shout coming next week. We've got the House Party 4K from Criterion, the Birth 4K.
There
Don't
it
Be Afraid of the Dark, like we were just talking about. We've got the Once a Thief 4K from Shout that is also coming out. We've got the Mechanic 4K from Kino Lorber. The Narrow Margin from Warner Archive. Speaking of, Student Bodies finally going to be shipping from TerraVision in the next couple of weeks. Gatorbait will not be. That will be a little bit longer. Still working on that one. Exorcismo, the box set from Severn, is getting its wide release for people that bought from the site. You might have already got yours. Sabrina from 1995 from Kino is coming out next week. The original Kiss of the Spider-Woman 4K from Criterion is dropping next week. Some more Warner Archive. Red Dust, The Verdict, The New Fred and Barney Show. I still need to get that one. Blood of Revenge from Radiance is next week as well. King of Beggars from Eureka. We've got Illustrious Corpses from Radiance. We've got the Project ACO 4K. Blue Moon, we just talked about that one earlier on the Oscar show. That's getting its Blu-ray disc next week. Cheap Thrills in the U.S. from Arrow. Have you seen Cheap Thrills?
Not yet. It's been a movie that it's been on my list for a while, and I just haven't pulled the trigger on getting it from the library or just blind buying it.
It is so good. Pat Healy is great in it. Manpower from Warner Archive, the Rolling Stones.
Real quick, I just need to mention, speaking of Pat Healy, I was on Facebook Marketplace not too long ago, and I saw someone selling a bunch of Criterions, and it was Pat Healy. And I was like, hey, I'm really interested in this. He goes, I'll be completely honest with you. I don't feel like it's worth the price of shipping, where you can just get it from Amazon for a better price. I'm like, well, I appreciate your honesty, I guess, that you don't want to rip me off, but it's weird that I'm potentially buying a Criterion from Pat Healy.
Yeah, and speaking of somebody that we mentioned earlier, Brian Sauer's got a bunch of pictures up hanging out with Pat Healy recently. Go check out Brian's stuff. Brian's great.
Brian is great. He's one of the first people that let me write on a website.
Nice. Let's Spend the Night Together, the Rolling Stones. That's getting a 4K and Blu-ray release from Kino Lorber. We've got what is next? Hold That Blonde from Kino coming soon. Happy Hell Night 4K from TerraVision will be shipping-ish fairly soon. By the Light of the Silvery Moon from Warner Archive. Ordinary People getting its standard re-released here. The last screening, Shoestring Slashers Part 2 from TerraVision, will be out in some weeks. Patchwork 4K, same there. Space Adventures Cobra, the movies, that will be out from Discotheque next week. Cliff in Color, the Technicolor films from Indicator will be dropping. We've got For the First Time from Warner Archive. Lots of stuff coming next week. Shark Skin Man and the Peach Hip Girl from Discotheque coming next week.
Right.
This Second Woman from Filmmasters, Marry Me 4K, Michael's favorite movie with Owen Wilson. Little Prayer.
I have seen it, I will admit.
I honestly not surprised. How is Marry Me? I've been curious about that.
It's not bad. I have me and my wife, we have a fondness for rom-coms. It's not bad. They actually have a lot more chemistry together than you would expect.
Interesting.
I don't remember a lot about it, but I don't feel like it was a waste of my time, if that makes any sense.
It does make sense. The Thing with Feathers, did you see that last year?
No, I did not.
It's a very weird movie. I don't know anybody else who has seen it, so I'm kind of curious what other people thought about it. I saw it. Interesting movie, kind of. Had some fun practical effects that are pretty cool. Pulse coming out next week from the studio. Trifle from Cohen Media Group is coming out next week as well. And that is it. Any of those that you are keen for, already got pre-ordered, got your eye on?
I don't do a whole lot of pre-orders. I know you said it's not coming anytime soon, but I really have my eye on Gatorbait. It's just a type of film that I really enjoy. Have my eye on Married to the Mob. I saw that they had the best worst movie documentary along with, I think, American Scares, or it was a Dupac documentary set that looks fun. The Great Silence, I didn't love the first time I saw it, but I want to see it again because I watched off a really bad DVD.
You need to watch it again. It's one of the greatest spaghetti westerns.
I'm also a firm believer that, sometimes you're just not in the right mindset for some movies, and that is fine.
100%.
And also at the same time, not everything is for everyone.
That is true.
Well,
Although,
I wasn't in the right mindset for that movie because I love westerns. Everything about it is a movie that I would love. I just don't think I was fully locked in when I watched it.
we had a question from Gary. Gary wants to know what is Bad Things. It is a Shudder release that was through OCN. He says it reminds you of The Exorcist, and it says a group of friends go to a hotel for a weekend getaway and soon discover that women do bad things here. That is a really bad synopsis.
It is. It is. Oh, and
Really?
I am excited for The Mechanic. I'm a Charles Bronson guy.
Bronsonite, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Good to know. Good to know. Well, let's get into Shameless stuff. Let's talk about some of the history with the show real quick before we get into our lists. What are some of your favorite films that you saw for the first time doing the show over the years?
Well, I mentioned at the beginning of the show, but The Godfather. That was a perfect example of a movie that I had never seen before I did the show, and it's not because like I didn't want to watch it. It's just sometimes with these big films, you're just like, well, it's not going anywhere, and I don't think I'm gonna dislike it. So I got pushed down the list. So that was one. I still have to watch the sequels, but I'm really bad about making time for some of these movies. Some other films that I saw for the first time that I really loved. I saw Face in the Crowd.
Good movie.
Really loved that one. Mikey and Nikki, I saw for the first time doing this show. Really enjoyed that one. I'm going through my list of episodes because I've been doing this for 10 years. So it's not always easy to remember everything. I did Little Darlings.
Great movie.
That was probably one of my favorite episodes. I really enjoyed that. Let's see. Sunset Boulevard I saw for the first time because of this show. Let's see. What else? Oh, Betty Blue I saw because of my podcast.
Oh, wow.
And a friend of mine was so wanting me to see it. He shipped me the Criterion. So I'd move it to the top of my list, and I did. Let's see. What else stuck out with me that I watched for the first time because of this?
Do you have anything from Second Sight over in the UK?
I do have a couple Second Sight releases. I have their release of Drive. I have their release of The Guest. I have their original Super Mario Brothers they put out. That movie's a hyperfixation for me. And I think I have a couple more. I just can't remember them off the top of my head.
Speaking of that movie, not a lot of people have this, and I'm so stoked. I've got their original release of Betty Blue.
Oh,
it is one of their first limited edition releases, sideloading. I still can't believe I got this. Really, really great release of the movie. I do not have the Criterion. This is the one I went with. So anyways, just wanted to show.
No, I love that. So yeah, that's just a couple of the handful of things that I've seen. 'Cause it's like I said, with the conceit of the show, it's not always movies that I haven't seen. It's sometimes movies that the other person haven't seen. I think the episodes work best when one of the people on it has seen it. But so it doesn't always work that way. One of my favorite episodes, though, that we did is a movie that I absolutely love, which is Rocky. My co-host had never seen it. And then I have a friend of mine who works for the Plaza Theater in Atlanta. He had never seen Rocky, so he came on to do it. And I also, the last half hour, maybe 40 minutes of that show, I called my good friend Lloyd Kaufman up, and he did an interview just talking about his relationship with John G. Avildsen.
Wow.
Which he doesn't talk about a lot.
Interesting. With your show, you're programming in a way. You are curating tastes out of some things that people give you a list for, or some ideas, or just because you know some of these people. And so the joy of you discovering films is great, but also the film fan love of sharing films with people that are brand new is always great. So what are some of the ones that you had seen, but you got the best enjoyment out of showing somebody new on the show?
So Rocky was obviously a big one that I got to show someone because it's a film that honestly means quite a lot to me. It's one of those series that was always there for me. I loved getting to introduce my former co-host Nick. He had to step away from doing the show full time, but he still comes on every year for our annual Christmas episode. Our first Christmas episode we ever did was a double feature of Black Christmas and The Family Stone. And I love that I got to introduce him to Black Christmas and he showed me The Family Stone.
Yeah.
What a wild double feature. Let's see. Other films that I got to introduce people to that I was really excited for was, let's see. So I wasn't prepared for this question. So I'm quickly going through my list. I got to introduce someone who is not familiar with professional wrestling in any way, shape, or form beyond the mat. So it's interesting to watch someone's perspective who doesn't know wrestling to see all the behind the scenes of it.
How did that do? Were they happy to see it?
He was fascinated by it. Like he didn't quite get out of it what I got out of it, but he's like, I've never thought about professional wrestling.
Right.
So to see the behind the scenes of how it's all orchestrated, especially because at the time he worked for a theater. He's like, it's like sports theater. I'm like, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, very much so.
So that was a fun one getting to introduce someone to, because it is a wild title. I got to introduce after Nick left the show, I then just had to start bringing in co-hosts all the time. I got to introduce one of my co-hosts to Phantom of the Paradise.
Oh, I love that movie.
I do too. I also got to introduce my former co-host to the Monster Squad, and we had Andre Gower on to discuss it with us.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so we also talked about his documentary, which he made, and he was the sweetest person. I got to introduce someone to Boogie Nights, and that was a fun time.
Nice.
One of the more interesting ones. So my former co-host Nick, he is a big Star Trek fan. We've done multiple Star Trek episodes. Our first episode, because back when we started the Shameless Picture Show, was going to be television and movies. We didn't do a lot of television, but we started off with Star Trek: The Next Generation. He's a big Star Trek fan, to the point that for our 200th episode, we're going to do Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Wow.
Because I'd actually never seen it. But he had never seen Galaxy Quest. So I thought, well, this is going to be the perfect for you to see. And it's a really fascinating episode. I recommend everyone go listen to it, because he didn't like it. And he didn't like it because he saw too much of himself in it, and it made him have to confront himself in an interesting way.
Huh.
And sometimes the show's therapy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know, it's tough. I came to your show too late, and I've not been able to go back through the archives, because you have 10 freaking years of podcasting behind, or more than that, behind you.
Nearly 200 episodes.
Jesus.
Not including bonus episodes.
That's crazy. You got a Patreon, like I said, linked in the description below. What do you do over on your Patreon?
Well, originally, we're getting back to it. We've never had that many patrons. Usually we have a couple people who kick us $1, and I think they forget they're even doing it, which is fine. I'll take your money. My wife and I were doing a show called Cage's the Rage. We were working through the films of Nicolas Cage in chronological order, and then ranking them in terms of caginess. The problem is, I don't think anyone was listening to it, because I don't think anyone could figure out how the podcast thing, like the audio worked.
The RSS feed, yeah.
So, like, I gave a couple of them away to the main feed. And then, since no one was subscribing, and this is not like a woe is me thing, but I was like, well, I'm not going to keep putting them out. There's no one really there listening to them. But my wife and I, we just wanted to get back to it. So when season 10 starts up, we're going to jump back into it and just probably give a lot of them away. And then if there's interest, then put them behind. And it's only $1 to get them.
Yeah. Not bad.
So it's not much. It was we more so set it up just because I felt like, because I did have some friends who were like, I'd like to kick in something. And I was like, well, I only do 2 episodes a month, so I already struggle to even putting out
Right.
content sometimes because I do so much other stuff. Um,
I
but
feel that so deeply.
yeah, but you put out weekly shows.
I'm live. Thankfully, I don't have to edit or anything like that.
And it's funny, like I used to joke, it's like, I give away the edited stuff for free, and then the stuff that I don't edit, I put up on Patreon. People pay for.
Yep, that is true. I don't know. Do you want to reveal that I'm doing an episode here soon and what we're going to be
Yes.
covering?
Yeah, so I can only tell people what some of the upcoming episodes are. So for episode 200, which is going to be releasing probably like second, maybe third week probably second week into February. They're doing Star Trek: The Motion Picture. The episode right after that, which is episode 201, Ryan will be joining us to discuss Godzilla -1, which he had told me he had not seen yet, and it was probably my favorite movie of the year it came out. So I'm really excited to talk with him about that. I've got an episode on Clueless coming up with Millie DeCherico. On top of that, I also have Austin Proctor of the Frightmares podcast. When he was here, we recorded an episode on Hudsucker Proxy. So we got some good stuff coming up.
You've also done some interviews on your show. You want to shout out any of the names that you've had for that?
Yeah, of course. So the interviews have always been interesting because I always give anyone who comes on the option. It's like, here's the theme of the show. Here's what we do. But if you don't want to dedicate yourself to having to watch a movie, like sometimes the people I'm interviewing are busy.
Yeah.
I give them the option. But if they do come on to discuss a movie, I still try to work an interview in. So like recently I had Alonzo Duralde on, and we were talking about Christmas movies in general because it's another topic that I'm obsessed with. I've had various people on. I had Phil Hopkins of Film Masters on, and he is just a delight to talk to. And Film Masters is one of my favorite companies currently, favorite boutique labels. There's so many films that used to come on those crappy Mill Creek 200 horror movie collections that were hard to even get through, and they're breathing new life into them. Like Tormented, I tried to watch so many times before. They put it out the Blu-ray, and I was riveted. Also, had David Gregory from Severin on very recently. He
Sure did.
He's just a phenomenal guest, and just very kind with his time, which I appreciate. I've had people like Luce Tomlin Brenner on. She is a comedian in Los Angeles. She also runs.
Luce is great.
I'm sorry?
Luce is great.
Luce is great. She has been on my show twice, and absolutely a gem. I've had Susan Kearns on my podcast, which may not be a name a lot of you know, but she is the current executive director for Milwaukee Film. On top of that, she used to teach film at Columbia College, but she also wrote an essay for the Tank Girl release that Umbrella put out.
Yep. So
she produced one of my early films, and we've been friends ever since. I also had Maggie Greenwald on my show, who directed The Ballad of Little Joe.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know
go
if
back
it's a
to
movie
that
that many people have seen, but it is a great little Western. Also had Robert Tennell, who directed the movie Frankenstein and Me, which is a movie that just profoundly moved me. So I've had some cool people on.
It's always weird when I'm talking with somebody on the show and they mention a name that I've been emailing with this week. By the way, thanks for that contact.
You're welcome. You're going to have to tell me how that's going off air.
Yes. Let's break down some Shameless items now. So these, we're going to talk about maybe why we haven't seen these and what they are. And if the other person has seen them, we'll give some shout outs there. So I'll give my first one. And I tried to make these very far apart in a way where they're like different styles or different levels of Well, they're all well known, but they're different levels of like, man, this is pretty shameful. My first one, I've said this on the show, and a couple of these y'all have heard before, but I don't think Michael's ever heard these. So I'm going to blow his mind a little bit with these. The first one is 1957's The Seventh Seal, the Bergman film. I have never seen any Bergman film as of this point.
Guess what? Me neither.
Look at that.
Yep.
I'm not alone.
I will say, and this is probably sorry, I keep getting like into your music, the music that's playing. For me, the reason I've not seen The Seventh Seal and seen a lot of Bergman films, and is just honestly, when I first heard about them, they looked boring.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying they are. I also, when I first heard about Bergman, my journey as a cinephile was completely different. But I just think because of that, like, I don't know. I guess part of me is like, well, I've seen Last Action Hero, so I'm sure I've seen enough of.
Right.
I've seen The Seventh Seal, which is funny to me, anyways. But yeah, when I was younger, I just figured they would be boring. And I'm sure I would actually really enjoy them. I just need to make the time to sit down and watch them.
I agree, and I showed my kids Last Action Hero about a year and a half ago, and they seemed to be mildly amused by a couple scenes.
And yet here I'm like, this movie's a masterpiece.
It's a fun time. It was way different than I remembered it being. That's for sure. List of 5. What is the first one that you're going to bring up tonight?
This one is surprising even to me. Seven Samurai.
Oh.
As of current, I've only seen one Kurosawa film, and that was Rashomon. And honestly, I just need to bite the bullet and buy a bunch of those Criterions that they've been putting out. But sometimes my scene things is purely a what's in front of me type thing. There is a sense of discovery that comes from it. Like, I can go online and buy pretty much anything, but I need to not do that. So I wait till things kind of find me sometimes.
I don't know why this is so funny to me, but Craig saying Seven Sams is pretty good makes me laugh so much because it sounds like he's on a first name basis with it. Yeah, I mean, Kurosawa, like, he's one of the best. Like, that's not hard to say, obviously, but I mean, even then, like, I saw Dersu Uzala that he did. I don't love that movie. Seven Samurai, good movie.
Yeah, it's just one of those films. It's just, he's one of those directors. Like, I know I'm gonna like this. I know I'm gonna like the works he does. It's funny. I have a large framed poster of Akira Kurosawa's Dreams, and I've never even seen the movie. But I found it at a store and I had to have it.
That's great. I wanted to highlight this because Sibner says, I've never seen a Studio Ghibli movie, and he's got the little eye peeking emoji next to it. This is like the definition of the Shameless Picture Show.
Yeah.
He's worried about revealing that.
You should never feel shame about the things that you haven't seen. There's only so many hours in the day. It is okay. The biggest thing is you should just not necessarily be proud of it, but you should own it and know that it's always there for you to discover.
Yep. Agreed. Completely agreed. My next one is a big one for me that I've been meaning to watch for like the longest time. I just, for some reason, have not prioritized it. I have still not seen 1967's Cool Hand Luke.
I actually just saw that for the first time on film like 2 years ago. Milwaukee Film showed it. And that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes, like, I love Paul Newman, and I just had never gotten around to Cool Hand Luke, but then I saw it was playing. I was like, well, this is how I'm going to see it. I wait for and I probably would have seen more stuff sometimes if I wouldn't do this, but sometimes I just kind of wait for a movie to find me, because I truly do believe movies find you when you're supposed to see them.
Agreed. Completely. And sometimes the first time you see them, you weren't supposed to see them and you don't like them, and you'll find later that you just weren't ready for it yet.
Yeah. Cool Hand Luke was a movie that I remember getting into a conversation with a local film critic about right afterwards, where I was profoundly moved by the film. And he goes, I thought it was really stupid. I was like, well, we had two very different reactions to this movie because you weren't supposed to discover this film yet.
That's true. Absolutely true. Terry in the chat says Ryan has had a failure to communicate with Cool Hand Luke. This is one of the reasons I've always needed to see this, because my dad quoted this line to me all the damn time and never showed me the movie. Just told me what it was from. I need to see it big time.
I had seen one scene from it, and it was probably because of the retrospectives and Turner Classic Movies where he eats like a shit ton of boiled eggs.
Yeah, this is probably true, Noodles. A lot more Simpsons episodes will make sense after you see Cool Hand Luke.
It's honestly true. It's like same thing when I started getting into Hitchcock. It's like, oh wow, so many more of these jokes make sense now.
All right, second on your list for tonight.
So this one has been on my list since it came out, and it's now gotten to a point where I'm intentionally not seeing it until my wife pretty much says we need to watch it. There Will Be Blood.
Wow, big
that one when it came out, There Will Be Blood and No Country for Old Men were both going for the Oscar.
Yeah,
and I swore my allegiance to No Country for Old Men. So
well, you chose wisely overall.
Yeah, I was like, I can't see There Will Be Blood. And then it's gotten to the point where I've been working. I think there's only, besides There Will Be Blood, there's only 3 PTA movies I still need to see. And so I just kind of feel like it needs to be the last one I watch, or whenever my wife, because my wife has seen it. And she keeps forgetting that I've never seen it. So I was like, the day that she was like, let's put this on, will be it.
Yeah, that'll be a fun experience too.
Yeah.
Terry, completely understandable reason. Craig says we were just talking about There Will Be Blood last night. One of those films that's so damn good, but you don't rush out to watch it again. That is absolutely true. Good movie. Good movie. I'm excited for you to see it. I'm curious to. How do you feel about PTA overall? From what you've seen?
I like him overall. I don't think there's been any of his films that I've disliked.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like even the ones that work for me the least, I still find endlessly fascinating. Like Punch Drunk Love is a movie that I have mixed feelings on, but I think about it all the time.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Beautiful movie. Love the way it looks. My next one is one that I have heard from a couple of people that I would love, and it was like, all right, adding to the watch list, and then never referring to the list again. Still have not checked out 1974's Cassavetes Joint, A Woman Under the Influence. One that gets referenced so many times, still have not put it in.
I have that. So I'm friends with one of my film professors from college, and he's been downsizing, getting rid of a lot of his movies. I think I actually remember sending you a picture. I bought a bunch of those Corman Shout Factory sets from him, and I got a really good price on them, let me tell you, because I don't think he looked up what they were worth. But he also sold me all of his Cassavetes DVDs, so I have almost all of his films on the shelf, but I've only seen Killing of a Chinese Bookie. So it's one of now that I have them all, it's like, okay, now I want to kind of work through. Once again, they found me.
Yeah.
Now I just need to actually make the time for them. But
right. Yeah, I need to see it. Heard nothing but great things about Jen Rollins in that movie. Just no excuse. I need to see it for sure.
So my next one is another. I don't want to say it's a contemporary film because it's like 26 years old at this point, but Gladiator. So when it came out, I was like 10 years old. So I had no interest in it. When I started getting older, Russell Crowe just didn't do much for me. There's things I like him in. I love him in Nice Guys. I like him in 3:10 to Yuma, but like he wasn't moving units for me.
Right.
And I'm mixed on Ridley Scott, so it was a movie I just keep putting off. But the way my tastes have evolved over the years, I think it's a movie I'm really gonna like.
Yeah.
I need to find my way to it.
What are some of your favorite Ridley Scotts?
I love Alien.
Of course.
That's an easy one, and I'm in the camp where I prefer Alien over Aliens because I know some
Good.
people prefer
Good.
Aliens. Saw Blade Runner recently because of my show. Was really impressed by that. I love Legend.
We were just talking about that one in the Discord too.
But there's still a lot of blind spots I've not seen. I saw House of Gucci or whatever. I saw Robin Hood or whatever. But like I've not seen Thelma and Louise yet. I have the Criterion. I just need to
Great
watch
movie.
it. And so he's got an interesting career. I was always a bigger fan of Tony Scott.
Same.
Like, just I don't know. Like I had so many films in film school that I would just bring a fog machine onto set just because I wanted the Tony Scott look. Or I'd have all the grips just smoke cigarettes. Let's be real. Grips are always fucking smoking cigarettes, man.
Them and the Best Boys, damn it.
Yep.
I don't know why, but as soon as you said I always prefer Tony Scott, I wanted to make a really terrible Walk Hard reference to say the wrong Scott died, but that seemed in poor taste. My number 4 is one that everybody's going to laugh at because I've talked about it on the show so many times. I'm sorry. I know that it needs to happen, and my plan is to do it this year. I just need to do it without the kids nearby. I have still never seen Akira, however it's pronounced.
Okay.
88. It's a big one. I just got the 4K last year. I need to see it. I've heard nothing but amazing things. Anime is not a strong suit of mine. It's not one that I've seen a ton from.
No, me neither. But I've been getting more into it.
Yeah.
I had a huge aversion to it because I was being a pretentious fuck for a long time.
Yep.
And I which is so annoying because I used to read manga when I was in middle school because I feel like most people did, at least at one point. But then I went to high school with some kids who just really took it too fucking far, and they just annoyed the shit out of me. And then I just kind of got on my high horse with it. But I'm discovering, one, that I know I was a pretentious fuckwad then, and then 2, there's a lot of really brilliant storytelling.
Yeah, it's true. What's your favorite anime you've seen so far?
Let's see. Like I said, I've been going through. Cowboy Bebop is like a low hanging fruit answer because it is really good. I'm a big fan of Fooly Cooly. For movies, I saw Ninja Scroll at way too young an age. I should not have seen Ninja Scroll and Vampire Hunter D when I was the age that I was. And you're right, Jesper. I still am a pretentious fuck.
I thought that was a really funny comment.
But I saw those movies way too young. But I would say the one that I think just was worked for movie wise that has worked super well for me would be either Ghost in the Shell or Princess Mononoke.
I've still not seen either of those either.
Actually, I see someone mention the comments. Spirited Away is a fantastic answer. I saw that movie for the first time when I was pretty young. Turner Classic Movies, and this is actually when I first discovered Ben Mankiewicz. It was when he first started working with Turner Classic Movies. He did a late night screening of Princess Mononoke, one time dubbed and one time subbed. Back to back. And I stayed up late, wrapped under a blanket with the blanket over my television, so my parents didn't know I was up, and stayed up until like 3 a.m.
That's so cool.
So enamored by it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It
actually might be Spirited Away. I've not watched it again since that very formative screening, and it's one of those movies that's like I'm almost afraid to rewatch it because that nostalgia's a drug, man.
Yeah, I completely get that. Those Ghibli films just kind of incrable. Yeah, and I've not seen all of them, but the ones I've seen.
I'm at this point I'm savoring them because I've seen a handful of them, and I saw Princess Mononoke when they re-released on 4K last year and theatrically, and Each one of them has just been delightful.
I'm so ready for those 4K discs to finally get announced. God, so many of those are going to look just remarkable on 4K.
Yeah, and like my wife is really big into Totoro. Like
Mm.
that's kind of the one that she really gravitates to.
The Hot Topic Ghibli. Nice.
Yeah. Well, he's fucking cute.
Yeah. That sounded so dismissive, but it was so funny in my head. All right. What is your number 4?
And I got so aggressive. It's fucking cute. Lawrence of Arabia.
Oh, yeah.
Film that I feel like I know a lot about, and I read a lot of like film history books and things like
Yeah.
that. It feels like a movie that I've seen, but I know I haven't. Like, do you ever get that where there's like a movie or a filmmaker you've read a lot about,
Yeah.
and it feels like you've seen something? That's how
For sure.
Lawrence of Arabia feels to me.
So what's really funny is I'm feeling the exact opposite way about Lawrence of Arabia right now. I know for a fact I've seen it at least twice. I hardly remember anything about it. I feel like it's one of those movies that just immediately dumps out of my mind the 2 times that I've seen it.
Yeah, and I also just really like it's. I don't know why I haven't seen it yet. Probably it might be the length, because I
Yeah.
don't mind long movies. It's just more so trying to find time for
Yeah.
long movies. And I read a lot about Lawrence of Arabia when I started getting really into John Ford, because I was just really I loved the fact that David Lean said he studied the Searchers to figure out how to best shoot landscapes. And I just so at this point it's it's been my quote of the day. I'm just waiting for that movie to find me.
Interesting. Yeah. I'm curious if that one will ever like stick with me. I need to try again. It's been a while for sure.
Colton, I also want to know if it'll ever be gay enough for you.
Please report back, Colton.
Yes. Find me on social media. I need to know is Lawrence every day. I just need to check in. Is Lawrence Arabia gay enough for you today?
Go get that URL. Is Lawrence of Arabia gay enough for me yet.com?
This reminds me. Were you ever a professional wrestling guy?
Yeah, multiple times. Yeah.
There was a website that existed for a long time that is teststilldead.com. You could go to it and be yes, and had a clock of how long he's been dead for. I don't know where the joke started, but it always made me laugh.
Colton, this comment is so funny in response. That man was in them deserts doing dirty things. Oh, jeez. All right, so this last one is kind of like a more recent infatuation that I don't know why I haven't put this one in the player yet, but I have loved, like literally been enthralled by everything that I've seen from Wong Kar-wai, and for some reason, I have not watched 1997's Happy Together yet. And I feel like from all the promo material, it looks like one that I am going to worship afterwards. So I need to get around to it, but it's so wild how much the other ones have worked perfectly for me. So I know it's going to be great. I gotta dedicate the time to it.
Oh, it's really funny you mentioned that, because my next one's In the Mood for Love.
No way! Nice.
Yeah.
That so much of ours have been our first one. We both picked the word 7 in the title.
Yeah.
Both Wong Kar-wai. Like this has been
Yeah.
great.
Like I, like many pretentious young film students, saw Chungking Express and pretty much built my life around it.
It's pretty great.
And then I just never got around to his other films, except for apparently I've seen The Grandmaster, and I don't remember when I watched that. But In the Mood for Love it's very much like you said. I know it's a movie that I'm going to love.
It's beautiful.
And I just need to pull that trigger.
Yeah.
It has a Criterion, correct?
It does have a Criterion. It's in that box set. It had its own standalone. I think it's got a 4K now, if I'm remembering right.
That's
Just
another
remarkable.
thing too. It's just like sometimes some of these films aren't easy to find. Like the reason I haven't seen
True.
Possession for so long is because it was not easy to find. If you didn't get that original release of it,
Yep.
good fucking luck finding it. Or so when I was talking to Austin about when we went to go see No Other Choice, I've not seen any other Park Chan-wook films except for Stoker, because they were notoriously hard to find for a while.
For a while, yeah.
And then it's because they were so hard to find, I stopped looking. which is the reason why up until like I hadn't seen a lot of John Woo films because they weren't easy to find. And now they are. Now they're all getting releases, and I don't have to deal with unsavory bootleg websites to see some of them. But like, you know, when something is not easily available, why keep looking?
Yeah. And Stan, yes, we absolutely our Patreon. We do a watch along as a group once a month, and one of them we did Chungking Express and discussed afterwards and stuff. Loved that movie. Yeah. Ronnie says Chungking Express didn't do it for me. Still haven't seen In the Mood for Love. In the Mood for Love is remarkably just well made, shot beautifully, poignant. Love that movie so much. Gosh, these are good lists, solid lists.
Yeah, and it's like, and after talking about it, I don't feel any shame. I'm excited to see them.
Absolutely. Except for maybe the Bergman stuff. I can wait on a few of those. But
yeah, and I even had backup choices just in case we had the same one. I actually made a list of 11.
What are the other 6 if you want to rattle them off?
The Graduate.
Somebody else mentioned that in the chat earlier too.
After Hours.
Oh wow!
I had that Criterion. It's still shrink wrapped. Another Scorsese, The Last Waltz.
Oh, good movie, yeah.
Come and See.
Yeah, I understand putting that one off.
And then Cinema Paradiso.
Yeah, I can see that not being super like accessible, I guess, or approachable. Maybe is the better way to say that.
Plus, I without knowing a whole lot about it, you know, I remember when it was recommended to me by someone. I was like, "Why would I see that? I've already seen Matinee."
That's touche. They're both great.
I know it's it's not the same thing. I'm being a little coy about it, but still.
But not a pretentious fuck though. That's nice.
Yeah.
Michael, this has been amazing. Thanks for doing this. I had a whole hell of a lot of fun.
I'm glad, and I got to stir up some shit in your comments section.
It happens every week, and so I'm grateful that you had an opportunity to do it.
Yeah, and I had a great time, and hopefully looking to come back whenever we can get me scheduled in. Though I'm a little sad, I gotta say. So back before you had officially announced Antenna, you had said it's like, oh well, there's a piece of news I want to tell you, but I want to wait until I can tell you live. You still haven't said anything, so I don't know if you were just.
It was Antenna because the first time was going to be the week of that announcement.
Okay, that makes sense.
That because we had to, I think we had to reschedule you twice.
No, only once. No.
I rescheduled you once. You rescheduled you once.
Yeah, so it was twice, but. So I thought you had something me specific that I was like excited for.
No, just Antenna. But the big thing was Brian only had one opportunity to come on the show, and so it was like I got to get Brian back on, and I know that Michael will be okay waiting 1 week, so we did it.
Yeah, it's like I said before, Brian's a great dude. I don't know him super well, but back before I was a very unproven writer. Only thing I had written for was Taste of Cinema, if you remember that website.
I vaguely do, I think.
It was mostly a list website. You like, best horror locations, and you just do a bunch of that. When Brian was doing Rupert Pumpkin, he would do his discovery lists every year. And I reached out to him being nobody. I'd barely been doing the podcast. And asked if I could post one. And he said yes. And he let me do that for like 3 or 4 years. Pretty much until he stopped doing the website when Pure Cinema dropped off. And then a funny other little side of Brian, when he first started getting into 4K, I think he got a 4K TV. He had no 4K discs. He just reached out to like Facebook. It was like, does anyone have any 4K digital codes they don't want? So I gave him a 4K digital code for Hook. Nice. I don't know if he remembers this, but I do.
It's a formidable moment for you. I'm sure he remembers it greatly. This has been great. Brian's great. You're great. This is so much fun. Thanks for doing it.
Of course, and I'm always happy to come back on again.
Well, we will get you back. Everybody stay safe over this freezing ass cold weekend that many of us are going to have. If you're in California, this is one of those super jealousy moments of your weather not being deadly at the moment. Although sometimes I'll take this over the fires, I guess. Anything else coming up that you haven't shouted out that you'd like to shout out?
Well, the season 10 of the podcast is coming up. Don't have the official date yet, but I'm thinking second week of February. It's mostly when my editor can get it done. As long as I get 2 episodes a month, I'm happy. I'm not super strict with my deadlines because I don't believe in working people too hard. So I got that coming. We have our secret project that we're not really talking about, but we are kind of talking about.
Cook.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else. No, not really. Like can I talk about the piece that I'm writing for?
Please, by all. Yeah, I teased it. You can reveal as much as you want.
All right. So I'm writing a piece for the Physical Media Advocate that is now not coming out until probably June-ish.
June, yeah.
To coincide with Jackass 5, I'm writing a piece for Physical Media Advocate about how Jackass has helped break down toxic masculinity within 90s and 2000s youths. And I even
fun premise.
Yeah, and I had an unexpected interview with Chris Rabb, aka Rabb himself, and he gave me like an hour and a half to almost 2 hours of his time, just to shoot the shit. And like we talked about the origin, like how he got involved, because he was more part of the CKY stuff and merged into Jackass that way. He gave me some behind the scenes information about how Viva La Bam worked, and he is a great dude.
I am so stoked that we're going to have an exclusive Jackass interview in the Physical Media Advocate, and unbeknownst to us that they were doing a 5th film.
Yeah, he said he's not involved with it, but he was more than happy to talk about his time with Jackass. And I want to tell like a story from that interview, but I don't want to spoil the magazine.
Right. You got to check it out. Come back around June and check out the issue when it comes out. And I'm sure we'll get Michael on some other stuff. He's already talked about a couple other ideas. You've written 2. Is it only 2 or has that been 3?
2, but I've pitched like.
That's right.
Yeah, it's 2. I have then I pitched you the Jackass piece, and I pitched you a video store piece that I need to meet with the guy to discuss further. But yeah, so far I wrote I want to say one of the more in-depth pieces about The Longest Yard.
Yep.
Burt Reynolds film, because he's my obsession actor. I think at this point out, like I don't want to say I wrote the longest piece on The Longest Yard, because I know that's not the case, but it's a pretty in-depth piece about The Longest Yard. I'm confident I have written the most about Frankenstein and me. And then that wasn't for you. But then I also wrote From Aldovia with Love, my appreciation of Netflix Christmas movies. Which is also quite in depth about the history of a Hallmark channel.
Yeah, we also. I mean, you had just recorded with Alonso Duralde, and we also highlighted his new version of his book, "Have Yourself a Movie Little Christmas."
Yep, got the shelf behind me.
Nice. Yeah, check out the magazine. I'm just going to keep talking about things because I like talking with you. So I'll let everybody go. Have a good night. Stay safe. We'll see y'all next Thursday. Going to be a fun night. It is. I don't remember who's. Oh, Chris will be back next week. We'll talk about that. Have a good night. See you then. Thanks, Michael.
You're welcome.
See y'all.
Thank you for watching The Disconnected. On the way out, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, that you've liked the video, and that you've copied the link to be able to share it with someone else that may appreciate this.